Live from New York and Virginia, it's Hangout Conversations with Matt Rappaport. My name is Ryan Sickle and I approve this show. Give it up for Mr. Matt Gibson. That's a terrible Ryan Sickle impression. Remind me never to do that one.
What's up, people? Let's see if I can remember this song. It's been a while. Shit.
Wandering, I've been wandering on the road of good intentions. The circle I am stuck in at the crossroads I've invented. Searching for the city of rest. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding, I'm feeling, I'm seething, alone and empty. Drifting on the ocean of forgotten hopes and dreams. The storms, they keep on raging and they're drowning all my screams. Wondering, will I ever see my home again? I'm bleeding.
Gibson. Tonight's guest, thank you so much. He'll be back a little bit very soon, very soon. Thanks, Matt Gibson. Welcome to another edition of Hangout Conversations. That was Matt Gibson. I am still Rappaport. It's great to have you here in another edition of Thursday night, middle of July. How's July going? Welcome back. It's been great. Despite the rumors, we're still here. I'm still Rappaport. Last week's episode, also rocking out Rebecca Pearl, the Whiskey Vibes, are up for you to rock out to. Number 18, the Plus Teaming Show, that crazy show with Jane Ellen, myself, Matt Mikowski, Paulie Temp, Ashley Nathan. Sometimes he does Scribble Crushes. That's up. And speaking of him and Scribble Crushes, we did a Kickin' Plussin' with making brownies, which is a lot of fun. You need to check it out on youtube.com/Hangout Conversations. There's a little bit of New York in there, / we got the new cameraman app feature, which I'm using right now. That's why Matt Gibson, you can't see him. You can just see me. But we'll bring him back on. That's kind of cool. And Google Plus got an iPad app, which is pretty sweet. Looks a little bit like Flipboard meets that F-Book site, which is cool. And I like the new iPhone app with the Hangouts and the events, which is nice. The new whited out notifications. How do you like those? I like them. But yeah, let me rush through because the super duperness of the guitarness and the time to rock out. Tonight's guest, I'm in a hangout, of course, where I saw he had a lot of guitars on his wall, all surrounding him, especially this little pink one, which I'm going to ask him about. And I got to hear him play, which was pretty cool. He's a self-proclaimed Renaissance man, Dread Pirate of the interwebs, not the Dread Pirate Roberts. And without a doubt, he's a rock musician. And I quote, music, I hear music. That's from him. He wrote that. His bragging rights are that bragging sinks ships, so he doesn't do it. Occupation is rock and metal singer, songwriter, guitarist, dimensional astronaut is my favorite one. He is the slammin' jammin'. He's a fellow Matt. He is Matt, the mother effin' loves to rock Gibson. Welcome to Hangout Conversations, Mr. Matt.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, man. Hey, Matt. Who's Matt? You're Matt.
It's like a parallel universe here.
I know, right? It's going to get a haircut. If I pump my hair, maybe I can't get I shave, though, but pretty cool. Awesome. That was great. What was the name of the song?
That song was called Empty. It's actually, right now I'm writing my debut record, and that's kind of a demo track that I put together. It doesn't have any background vocals or anything, and but I pretty much I'm about halfway done with the songwriting for the record, and I hope to put it out there sometime this October.
Very cool. It sounded awesome. And so you got a new setup. Matt used to be white walls, and now he's got like blue walls or green walls. It's hard to tell in the dark, but. And now you moved from North Dakota to Virginia.
Yeah.
So tell us about the guitars on the wall. Let's go right there. I mentioned it. Why not dive into it? Can you take each one off the wall, or are they pinned up there, or?
No, I can do that.
Cool.
Hang on a second.
You don't have to play them. Yeah, or you can stand by them and talk. Can we hear you? We can talk about them. Yeah, or you can rap. Yeah, that's cool. I'd love to take a picture of you playing the pink guitar. So tell us the story behind the pink guitar and what it means to you.
You know, it's funny. I'm a big student of, like, you know, what things you can do to make people ask questions, you know. And
attention.
You know, I had bought this little ukulele for my daughter on one of my trips. You know, see, it's got a little dolphin on it.
Oh, I called it a guitar. Wow, it's a ukulele, but it looks like
it is a uke.
It looks like the way it was painted. It looks more guitarish, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a pretty well made little ukulele. But I had bought it for my daughter, and she decided she didn't want to play it anymore. So I was like, well, what am I going to do with this thing? And I was thinking, you know, if I put it on the wall, I bet you that it would cause some interesting conversations, you know. And so I like interesting conversations, and I would say that
I like interesting hangout conversations myself. You know?
Exactly. So, you know, it's this guitar, this little uke, has actually caused a whole bunch of conversations in hangouts, you know.
Well, I would imagine, right? Because you're all dressed in black, you have all black guitars, and here's this one little pink thing sticking out. So
exactly. And, you know, I'm probably, you know, I like to mess around with different instruments to see what kind of cool stuff I can get out of them on my recordings. So, you know, I wouldn't be all that surprised if you heard a little ukulele plink now and then, you know.
Can we get a taste?
Oh, let's see if it's even in tune here.
I'm the one wearing the headphones. Ooh.
It's not in tune.
It's alright. Hey, Joe Martinez and Frank Storm and Beta Jers watching us. Lots of people watching us. That's cool. Doo-doo. Nice. Is that just you messing around?
I'm just making that up. Yeah.
That's good. Cool. Got it
Right.
clear for the FCC, the fellas at the FCC. And it looks like it looks like a saxophone hanging out down there.
Yeah, that's actually when I first was introduced to playing music. It was through a high school elementary school band program.
Right, of course.
And I started playing saxophone, and I think when I found out that the saxophone was the most expensive instrument that my parents would have to buy, that's why I wanted to play it. I don't know why. But
wow. So you were a little bit of a brat.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mom, Dad, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Gibson.
Right. But, so...
and people also, they're asking in the chat room, are you related to Metallica's Kirk Gibson, or... No one asked that, just me.
Kirk Hammett.
Oh, Hammett. Someone's saying Gibson. Well, Gibson Guitars.
Well, Gibson Guitars. That's the typical question. But
there has to be another Debbie Gibson. Is there another Gibson? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Is there a guitar player named Gibson? Is there any that? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of, other than me. But I mean, I'm sure
cool.
there is somebody out there.
Do you have a preference with guitars? You like all models and makes? Or?
Well, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. There's a certain level of guitar, like if you spend like $2,000 on a guitar, that's kind of a beginning of professional model guitars. 1,600, 2,000 ish. You're going to get a good quality instrument 99% of the time.
Right. But
like the instruments I have are very inexpensive. Like my guitar that I play the most, I actually got at a yard sale for $25.
Nice. And Will Ferrell sell it to you on his lawn, or?
What's that?
There's a movie with Will Ferrell. He's selling all his stuff on his lawn.
Oh no, but
that's funny. That's cool. Was it and it totally worked when you bought it, and it was all?
Yeah. Well, the guy had actually reversed it to. He was trying to do a lefty guitar, and he flipped it over and put the strings on backwards, and that really doesn't work very good. So I think he kind of gave up on it and decided to just get rid of it, But I was there to...
fixing it? You fixed it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I just flipped it back over and put it back together. So, and I've been playing this guitar for about... It's an Ibanez, kind of a... Not entry level, like a mid, a little bit higher, like under 1,000, but, close to it, I think. It's what it would cost new. Maybe the 500-600 range, I don't remember. But honestly, to be honest with you, I don't care about the guitar as long as it doesn't hinder me.
Right.
So if, it's really cool to strap on a $4,000 guitar, and
if you can afford it, right?
If you can afford it. I can't afford it, but most people can't afford that. And,
now the sound coming out of a $4,000 guitar versus the yard sale guitar, what is the difference? I guess acoustic versus electric.
I really think the quality of, your pickups is kind of, see, now this gets controversial. Guitar, no one's going to agree.
Fine. All right,
here's the elements. You got the wood of the guitar. So like really cheap guitars are like layered wood, plywood, inside of them. So theoretically it doesn't sound as good. Then you've got different exotic woods, different hardwoods, different densities of the wood. That's going to affect the way the guitar sounds.
Right.
And then you've got the pickups, how are the pickups wound, the different, setups of the pickups. That's going to affect the guitar sound. And then you have the amplifier or the digital effects processor that you're playing through. That's going to affect the sound. And then you've got, if you're recording an amp, the microphone.
Right, everything affects it.
So if the argument is you want to have the best elements of all of those things to get a good guitar sound. Now with digital stuff nowadays, it's easier for an amateur to get a close to professional sound with some of the digital stuff. Like I use what's called an 11 rack.
Right.
And it's just like it's like a little effects processor box, you know, that goes into a rack.
And it seems like a lot of guitar players do use a lot of different like extra tools, extra whammies, and foot pedals and.
Yeah, well, you know, those are really good for live. They're a little noisy sometimes in the studio, the foot pedals, but some people swear by them. Some people do all their recording with foot pedals and mic their amplifiers. Some people do it all digital, and you know, just go through an effects processor because you can simulate the amp, simulate the mic. You know, it really depends. You know, the reason I have an 11 rack in my studio is for convenience. Because right now I'm just trying to write some stuff and get it into a format where I can release an EP or an album, and you know that's.
And you're going to make your own album yourself, independently, just in your own place.
The first one I'm going to, because I've been telling myself I'm going to go into a studio for so long. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna self-release this first one and see how it goes, and then after that, you know, we'll see what happens. So I would love to go into a studio and let someone else do all the work, because it's really hard to be the captain, the cook, chief bottle washer. You know, it's just.
I know what it's like doing a show here, doing a movie. I've done it, yeah, all the different hats. You wanna be your best at the performing and the writing and that part of it. You don't, once you get into everything else.
Yeah, I would love to let someone else do all my social medias. I'll do all of my web design. I do everything.
Not hang out. You love hanging out. That you gotta do.
I do love hanging out, but you know I like to do the IT stuff. You know, I have a IT background, a lot of education in IT. But I really just want to play. I mean, that's really all I want to do.
That's like the quote of the century, right? That I just want to play my music, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Play, man. I don't want to deal with the business side and the tech and everything.
But you know, it's hard. It's hard to find people that either A, don't want to charge you a bunch of money and not really give you a great product, or someone that promises you something and just doesn't deliver it, you know?
It's tough, yeah, especially hard-working, hard-earning money and where to spend that money. Hey, back to that question, is there a simple answer? Does a $4,000 guitar sound better, or it's hard to say?
I don't think there's a simple answer to that, because, you know, the player, you know, I've seen people pick up a piece of garbage guitar and just blow the roof off of the place.
So it's talent, it's less about the instruments and more about the person.
Absolutely. I think, you know...
But even just playing one chord on two different guitars, hearing a chord being played on a 4000 or one chord being played, I mean, a chord is a chord.
There is definitely a difference, but people, it's an opinion.
Right. What's your opinion? Bring it. That's fine.
I don't really care about a $4,000 guitar. I would love to have one. Hey, here's your $4,000 guitar. But to me, a guitar is a tool.
Right. Do you always think about this scene in Wayne's World where he's like the Fendercaster and then in the glass box and he has the money? Like, is that like every guitar? Is that,
you know, I love that movie, and you know, I think when you're younger, you kind of idolize that, you know, brand that you know, look at in awe, you know, Fender or Gibson or ESP or Ibanez or all these different, you know, guitar companies out there, and there's all kinds of new ones too. But when you start to play and you start to realize that it's about what's in your heart, it's about the work that you put into it. It's not about the guitar. The guitar is just a tool that you use to express what's in your heart, you know, and
poetry.
And I think, you know, a good guitar for me is one that doesn't block me from, you know, being able to express myself. Now, I've played some expensive guitars that made me want to own them. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it you know, but I don't, you know, I really, especially, you know, for some of the younger people that might be watching, I don't want them to think that they have to have an expensive guitar. You know, it's more about the effort that you put into practice. And I'll tell you this, it's not about taking lessons. Because I've taken a lot of lessons And if you don't practice, if you don't apply those lessons diligently, you're just wasting your money. I mean, I've taken some lessons from Rob Michael. He's a very popular
I was gonna mention him
guy,
too.
that jazz guy on the internet, right?
How were they cool?
Oh yeah, it was great. We did it in a Hangout, and Rob is just like, he's like the Einstein of the guitar. He's like, he'll explain things, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's cool.
Or he does, but he also has the tips and tricks, the quick tips and tricks you can do, right?
He does, but I mean, that guy knows the guitar,
Yeah, he was great on the show.
Yeah, and so what, pretty much somebody, we were talking about the lessons, back and forth on Google Plus, and somebody had said something about, I'd like to take lessons and stuff. Will that make me better? And I think Rob said something about no, but practice will. So it's really, it's all up to the individual. So if you're out there and you want to learn to play guitar and you want to be a rock and roll, guitar player or a jazz guitar player, or blues or country, whatever you want to do, take lessons. Yes, that's good, but it's more about your practice. It's more about the time that you invest into the art, because it's just you want to be able to express your thoughts and feelings and your heart through your instrument. And to be able to do that, this has to be on autopilot. It has to just do what you feel. And that's a hard thing to do. It takes a long time, but once you get to that point, which I don't feel I'm at that point yet as a musician, but it's kind of.
How long would you say you've been a musician though? Like how many years?
Well, I've I was in the the military a long time, and I had it as a hobby, and I always felt like I was going to do something with it, but it was just a hobby while I did my job and all that stuff. And so, but recently, as I decided to get out and do something else. The last couple years, the last 2 to 3 years, I've really started practicing and playing more, recording. Actually, I would say I took George Lynch. He's on Google Plus too. He was my childhood guitar hero, and for a while he was offering guitar lessons on his website. And I just went for it, and I started taking some lessons with George, and it was kind of a really cool concept that he did called the dojo. And at that point, it was like I felt, almost like that epiphany, where I'm like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I was put here on planet Earth to do.
So it was more that, it wasn't necessarily a band or a concert or a song or an album that kind of made you, you heard it and you're like...
you referred to some quotes on my Google Plus about the music, I hear music. That actually is not my quote. That is...
Oh, my bad.
Well, I probably should put that there. But it's from a band called King's X, who I really love. Doug Pinnick is lead singer, bass player, Ty Tabor, Jerry Gaskell. They're a really great band, probably my favorite band. And, Doug Pinnick, look it up on YouTube sometime, like Doug Pinnick Tells It Like It Is or something like that. Doug is, he basically is talking about how, do we got any guitar players, any bass players out in the crowd? Is it a concert, and he was kind of getting everybody hyped up. He's like, don't spend the rest of your life doing something that you don't want to do. If it's in your heart to go be a musician, go be a musician. And that kind of planted a seed in my heart about, this is really what I want to do. And so, I spent a long time in the military, and I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot, and saw a lot of neat things and met a lot of neat people. And
did you play guitar over there when you were in the military? Did you?
No, I was a mechanic.
Did you have a guitar with you or no?
Oh, sure, yeah. It was a hobby. So, but there was a certain point in the last few years where it was just like, bam, this is it. This is what you're going to do. And so that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm just, And there's some really cool people on Google Plus that have encouraged me in my dreams and stuff. Like Heather Faye, she used to have she used to have a her and Cat Beach used to have this.
They still do, yeah. They still have it, open mic, yeah. They're trying
I'm gonna have to pop back on there, and you know they were the first people that I sang for in a hangout. I think.
I heard you when I first saw you. I heard you playing guitar more than singing. So I thought maybe you sang, but I wasn't good at it.
Well, you know, the singing is a little more difficult in the hangouts with the stuff that I do. Yeah. And even there, you know, at the end of my song, I didn't quite deliver on that last note. But it's you got to really to do metal and rock. You got to really get everything set up just right so you can hear yourself. I was having a little trouble hearing myself, and you know. I've got like 4 computer monitors up here.
That's cool.
I've got.
Can you turn the webcam around to see them or not? Would that mess it up?
Let me see if I can do that without messing us up here. It's too bad.
Set up. Oh wow, look at that. You got the sound. Basically, your monitor is your soundboard. Cool.
Well, no. I've got the soundboard is back there.
Oh, nice. Cool. So which one's is the guitar that's by your leg, is that your favorite guitar? The one that you restrung?
Well, it's the one by my leg here. This is my regular guitar. I have 2 electric guitars. One of them is this one's in standard tuning, and the one back there, the shiny thing with Dr. Bunsen Honeydew on it.
Right.
That's a baritone. That's like halfway in between a bass guitar and a guitar. So it gets that nice, thick, tuned down, you know, metal type sound, you know.
Is that so? That's your favorite one, Dr. Munson?
You know, again, it depends. The tools are for
everybody's name today.
The tools are for different purposes, you know. And
yeah, like that one guitar looks a little like a Johnny Cash guitar, right? That one in between.
Yeah, that's an acoustic electric, yeah. And you know that's a pretty inexpensive guitar, but you can really get some great sounds out of stuff. You know, you just have to use your ears and fingers to get it to sound right. You know. Now there are guitars that are just garbage. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna.
But like you said, even garbage guitars you can play.
The only my first guitar was we got it at some yard sale or tag sale when I was a kid. And the strings were like that far off of the fretboard, completely unplayable. You know, I could have used it for a lap steel or something maybe. I don't know. But, you know, that is definitely something that you can't really work with. You know, but as long as you can fret the notes and stuff, and yeah, exactly. You know. So speaking of your first guitar, do you remember? So what was the first song you learned to play or taught yourself to play? Do you? Well.
Or the first couple that you were messing with?
You know what's funny about that is I'm kind of a rare breed when it comes to guitar players. I really have not learned other people's stuff before. I I hear it and it comes out of my playing, so I do have influences. But real early, I had a really good guitar teacher. His name was John Forbing, really nice guy, and he kind of convinced me to just learn how to play my own stuff. And so he taught me the scales, and he taught me,
wow.
You know,
so there was not even one song. You didn't even learn some like classic.
No, I learned a few riffs and stuff, you know, but I've never. Maybe I haven't had the discipline to do that. You know, I'm a little impatient. I just like to do my own stuff, you know, and I think you know, Rob is trying to get me to start learning other songs and stuff, and I know he's right. I know it would make me a better player, but man, it's just so annoying. I hate it.
Yeah, but
it's like going to the gym, though, you know? Who wants to go to the gym? But if you don't, then hey, you know.
Right. No, I hear you, but just learning, I think learning a song, like I played clarinet, not saxophone, even though I asked to play saxophone or drums, and I got yelled at, and so I was kind of forced. I wanted to be part of the band. And I was a terrible clarinet player, but I did play a little piano, not too much. But I was more about memorizing, so I'd memorize the beginning of Stairway to Heaven, and I played over and over again, and Heart and Soul and all that stuff, and you just know it. You just, like, it's just in you, so I mean, I don't have the full song memorized, but I can slowly play it, you know, one hand or two hands. But it is one of those things you just know it. So like, you pick up an instrument, and you're like, oh look, I can play, and you're like, oh wow, look at that, and they're like, what else can you play? I can play it again. But you know, I hear what he's saying. I mean, is there a song though that you like that you did force yourself to learn, that you're like, all right, I know I can play like a song, I know that song, it's a classic song, and or not really?
You know, I just know a couple riffs of like, you know, songs that, and it's like, I'm a little ashamed about it, I'll be honest with you.
That's all right. About it. There's Hangout conversations where we call out the musicians. No.
I'm a bad musician because I didn't learn a whole bunch of other people.
You didn't learn Watchtower and Stairway.
You know, well, like I know the beginning of Stairway to Heaven. You know, but I never finished it. You know, so it's, to me, I'm like, nah, I don't really know that. But you know,
were they Zeppelin? Like some of these people, like, I mean, your first, even though you didn't want to learn the music, you must have had inspirations, like you know, you're into metal, and I'm sure Metallica or.
I didn't start out with metal.
Okay.
I was kind of into pop music when I first started. When I was, you know, probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, sometime a long time ago, you know. And I remember I had Michael Jackson's Thriller, and I had Def Leppard, you know, Pyromania, the first one. I'm kind of giving my age here. I should not do that. Okay, but yeah, so.
No, you're safe, because I had those records too, dude. So,
okay, cool.
And I look young, so.
But, you know, it's the first metal that I ever heard was Black Sabbath Mob Rules. Wow. And my friend's brother had a cassette tape of it. And he's like, man, you got to hear this stuff, right? So, you know, I was listening to Michael Jackson, which is he's an amazing musician, you know, and you
weren't exposed to it yet. That's what it was.
Yeah, I just hadn't been exposed to it yet. And so when I heard Ronnie James Dio singing, you know, Mob Rules, man, that is like, this is my music right here.
And then you saw Ozzy Osbourne, and you did that.
Exactly, yeah. Went into Ozzy and you know, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, you know, some of my big influences, you know, as a singer, you know, David Coverdale from Whitesnake, Rob Halford, Judas Priest, Jeff Tate from Queensryche.
You bring up Whitesnake. Do you think the 80s hair bands, metal bands got a bad rap? Do you think they got a bad, like, because it was like, oh, the 70s are classic and the 80s are like, kind of got like this whole, oh yeah, the 80s hair band. Like, do you think
you know, it's like, it was enjoyable for the people that were experiencing it, you know? And you know, everyone, it's kind of like, you always look back and you see, like 70s, you can look at bad things about the 70s. Look at the tacky furniture. You know, who sold this furniture to my parents? This looks hideous, you know? But if you talk about Zeppelin, then 70s are cool, you know? So it just depends on what you're talking about. I mean, the 80s, when it comes to rock music, that was the era of the virtuoso guitar player. And everything was big. It was like Texas music. You know, everything was huge.
Everything's huge in Texas.
Let's see how high can we sing? How low can we sing? How fast can we play? You know, everything was like, let's just show off and do the most radical stuff we can do with our music. And then, you know, Nirvana came around, and the Seattle scene came around, and kind of.
Wait, but Metallica came around before them.
Yes.
Metallica have been around for a while too.
Oh yeah.
I know we have Metallica and then Megadeth, but they were kind of, because I always think like, all right, hair bands. I think like, you know, Whitesnake and Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. But then I feel like there's them. Then I feel like the Metallica and Megadeth and a couple other. They were like kind of like, they weren't exactly the same. They were on a different level.
Right. No, that I would agree with that, and that's probably why they're doing as well as they are today. You know, when you're dealing with music and people and trends and what's cool and what's not cool, I mean, you're kind of at the mercy of fate almost, you know? I mean, let's just say like in 1991, I decided instead of, you know, going to join the military or do whatever, I'm going to start this killer rock band based on screaming my lungs out and bass guitar solos and everything.
Now, was that a thought in your head?
Yes, it was, and you know, I might have been a complete failure and quit, you know.
Or you would be, or we wouldn't be talking. You'd be a huge megastar.
Yeah, it's, you know, whatever. But you don't know, you know, you don't know, and it's I guess the point is that I'm trying to make is that
you're following your dream now. You want to do your dream now. I mean, I'm doing the same thing, and a lot of people are. I mean, you know, movies and entertainment, you know, and you're doing music, and you know, I just think you're doing the right thing. I mean, I think a lot of people are scared of doing things, and I think a lot of people think that they have to do something by a certain age, or they got to have this or that. But I think there is no set path. I think just going for it is important. So it's good that you're going for it, and doing it here is great. And hopefully you're going to do a lot of Hangout concerts and start.
Yeah, I plan on it. I'm actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next couple months to get my album done. I still haven't decided. We'll see how it goes. It may just be an EP, 4 or 5 songs, you know, for the first one. And, you know, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with the Traveling Guitar Foundation. Not as much as a musician, but, you know, as a, you know, part of the, I'm on the advisory board for Traveling Guitar Foundation.
Yeah, so your Traveling Guitar Foundation just went to LA. You got to see Andy Bohm. You guys went to a middle school, I believe. There was some
we went to a few of them. I think it was 2 or 3.
That's
I think
cool.
It was 2
and
of
so
them.
what's the premise behind what they do?
Well, basically, Traveling Guitar Foundation, what we do is we go into like a elementary, middle school, high school, prep school, whatever it is, you know, and we try, you know, times are tough now, you know, the money's drying up, the government doesn't have a lot of money, and, you know, states especially like, you know, California are really struggling to justify all these programs that they have because they don't have any money, you know, and so music, arts, art education, stuff like that is it gets chopped, you know.
Yeah.
And we're there to basically what we do. We'll go into a school. We'll do an assembly. Sometimes we'll bring celebrities with us to perform, you know, for the kids. And then we go to we donate.
And so what celebrities did you bring in, like? Specifically, do you remember? Or
Leon Thomas from Nickelodeon's hit show Victorious. He was on. He was one of our performers in L.A. And I won't
kid you. I don't know who that is, but I know what Nickelodeon is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I was like, yeah, I know who that is. No.
I have kids, so I know.
Oh yeah.
I knew who he was before I even met him. But
yeah.
It was you know. And Damon Marks is the founder of Traveling Guitar Foundation. He's worked with Alicia Keys,
Cool.
Mariah Carey.
And so some of them hopefully will be involved in the.
Yeah, they already have been a little bit. So I mean, it's really cool.
And so you go into these schools where they're cutting programs, and you're trying to bring music to them, or?
Well, we do the assembly, and then we have sponsors that provide stuff that we can donate to the kids. You know, one of our big sponsors, ESP, they donated all the guitars, you know, to the kids, and
how many guitars was that? Are we talking thousands or?
No, it's enough to sustain the school. So like maybe anywhere from 5 to 20, depending on how big the school is, how many kids there are.
Oh, okay.
You know, it'll give them an opportunity. Like the guitar is really inexpensive to maintain and to teach, you know, so you can. Some of the band instruments and stuff are really expensive if they break, you know.
Yeah.
So
you make a good point that I know that they have jazz bands, but I remember in school, like guitar was not. I guess they figured everyone's gonna want to play guitar, and that's why they don't offer it, right?
Well, and see, yeah, maybe it's a teamwork type thing, but like if you put a pile of orchestra equipment, you know, violins, you know, flutes, clarinets, you know, bassoons and gongs and all the stuff over here, and you put a bunch of electric guitars with big Marshall amplifiers.
Kids are gonna go over there.
Where
Yeah.
do you think the kids are gonna go? You know,
right.
So,
And rock band too. Yeah.
Traveling guitar, we we kind of give them what they want, you know. And they go crazy at the assemblies. I mean, they have a blast at the assemblies. So
I remember that. Like I was saying, like I had a choice. I said, he said, what do you want to play? I want to play either, you know, guitar, saxophone, or drums. And I got stuck with the clarinet. So I mean, I think that's bad. I think that kids. I get that we need all kinds of instruments in this world, but if a kid's like doesn't really have an interest in it, should they be forced to play? I don't know. Like I know Rebecca Pearl was on here last week, and she's great. She played French horn for a while before she like gave it up, you know. But
but those programs, you know, that's really important for young people to have those options, because it changes the way you look at the world, you know. It changes the way you think. It makes your brain more organized. I mean, it's a really, music and art are very important things that we can't let, you know, get cut out of our schools. And so if we can make a difference, you know, with Traveling Guitar and change some kids' lives, you know, that's what we want to do, you know.
That's cool. Hey, let's go into, you ready for another song? Pop another song.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Let's see what we got going on. Getting that ready. We got some surprises coming up, of course. Always.
Okay, let me.
Can you use the Dr. B? Oh, you want to use that one?
Yeah, the other one's not tuned right now, so.
Okay, cool.
But. All right, I'm gonna have to.
You're gonna play for us again.
All right, I gotta switch interfaces real quick, so. If you want to, and if you want to bring on the other person that we were talking about.
Yeah, sure. I will. Ronnie James Dios. I'm going to invite right now.
All right. Let's see here. Hang on.
But yeah, Matt Gibson, you're about to perform. You're going to perform this time before using a track. Now you're going to go, and you're singing. Now you're going to go guitar live for us, and put it on the phones, on the fro, and the beard, and we're going to go with the new song. What's the name of the song you're about to do? Is there a name?
Yeah, I'm not as organized as I want.
That's cool. No judging you. We're all friends here on Google Plus. You know, do you remember that can you talk while you're messing around, or?
This is called Breathe in the Sky.
Breathe in the Sky. Before you start playing, do you remember your first Hangout when you started playing, or your first one ever?
Oh yeah, it was I think it was at Heather Faye and Cat Beach's thing.
That was your very first Hangout that you ever
Or there was one other one that Mike Cyril invited me to.
Mike Cyril? He's
yeah,
awesome.
and I can't remember exactly.
You know what's really cool, and this might sound weird, but you mentioned Mike Cyril, you mentioned Heather Faye, both multiple times on the show, guests on the show. That's what's awesome about, like, just finding people and finding community, and, you know, and Rob Michael, I mean, I want to try to have everyone on the show, and it's good to have you.
Well, you know, it's like, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, let me make sure this is the right interface. Can you?
You good? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when you start playing, I'll be like, whoa! Hang
on. Okay.
That's what the audience wants to see. They want to see you make me deaf. They're like, if Rappaport's deaf, then...
Can you hear an echoes?
Yeah, it's a little bit echo.
Okay.
This is a live sound check, baby, 1, 2, 3.
All right, let's Oh, hey.
Cool. Hey, right. I'll type in chat.
Okay. Hey, our special guest.
Our special guest will be coming on soon. We're just gonna have Matt play us a song first.
Okay. All right. Let's see if this is gonna work. I hope it will.
I'll just bring on the special guest while we're waiting. Metal Sands is here, everybody. She likes to rock. She likes to party. She's coming from a sunny, probably California, and she's gone. We lost her. Oh, well. Matt Gibson is gonna play song for us today. Yeah, that was awesome. Gibson. Not a Gibson echoing in metal sound. Sanaz. I didn't want to say it wrong. I stopped myself from saying it wrong. How are you? Welcome to Hangout Conversations. You're coming to us
definitely. Thank you. It's cool to be here. Dude, that was badass, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Cool. It was cool to watch you just go, like all, you know, because he was talking before the show about it's so much work to learn other people's songs and everything. And, cool. I don't know Eddie Sebra. I don't know who he is, but welcome.
Okay.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. So what was that? How did that song come to be? Was that just you messing around, or?
Well, You know, a lot of times, hang on, this echo is hellacious here.
Echo.
Okay, that particular song, you know, Breathe in the Sky, life is kind of kicks your butt sometimes, you know, and I wrote that song. I was probably at a darker time in my life than I am now, and I was trying to, a good friend of mine who's a really professional, awesome, amazing singer, he told me, if you're in a depression, write yourself out of it, you know, and you just start writing, and you just write your way out of your funk, and write it on paper. If it sucks, write it again. Just keep writing until you get it out of your head, because sometimes some people, they just can't deal with all that stuff in their head. They got to get it out, you know. And as an artist, you know, that's how I deal with life, is getting it out of my head, so I can, and sharing it with everyone, sharing my pain with everyone else, you know.
Bring on the pain.
Yeah, but you know, it's Breathe in the Sky. You know, you ever just go outside on a nice sunny day, you know, and just walk and enjoy, just look up at the sky and enjoy it, you know.
Feel the sun on your face.
Yeah, feel the sun on your face, and you're like...
Kind of like Metal's doing right now.
Exactly. You know? It's just like... But, you know, and that's kind of what you got to do, man. You just go outside and you just experience, you know, the sky, you know, and you breathe it in and you drink it in, and you realize that your life has purpose, you know, and you're not just here by accident. You have a reason that you're here, and I really don't believe in random chance and you know, I made a joke about fate, you know, but I really believe that every person has a reason to be here, and everybody has a purpose, and I was just trying to write that as a way for me to get out of my funk, but hopefully someone else can hear that song. And obviously, I wasn't lip syncing. I was just singing along with the track.
Yeah, no one thought you were Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, exactly.
We heard you sing earlier, so.
I just wanted to do that song because I wanted something I could play that didn't already have a guitar solo on, that I could play over and show you some guitar.
So that's cool. Like, you know, music is therapeutic, and it's pretty cool to hear how you want it soothe your soul in a sense, and then it also can be inspirational for other people, you know.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, that's music is the one thing that we do as people where we don't have to speak the same language. Right. You know, it's
just about to say the same exactly.
Hey, well, so this is Metal. We didn't. So hey, you want to introduce Metal, Matt Gibson?
Sanaz.
Special guest, Sanaz. Yes. I like just calling her Metal. That way I don't have to pronounce Sanaz.
A lot of people do that. I guess it's easier. I'm just gonna go ahead and change my name to Metal. Just get it over with.
Just be Metal. Yeah. As long as you don't call her, as long as I don't call you Heavy, you know. So.
Heavy. Yeah. That won't be.
Right. But so Matt, you want to introduce her? You know that Metal's been around. Metal's been around. Well, Metal's been around since the dawn of time.
Well, yeah. But you know, Sanaz, I met her at the fundraiser that we did for Traveling Guitar Foundation this past year, and it's funny because I used to be on MySpace, and that was my big. You were
not alone, so don't say it like that.
Exactly.
Everybody was on MySpace.
And I always, you know, I've always been a rock metal guy, you know, and I saw this cool chick.
Well, you like pop. You
cool hair, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna friend her, man. She looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks like she'd be a cool
I think
friend,
she's, and this is not insulting, but you heard this. You look like Elvira meets Gwen Stefani, right? Kind of.
Yeah, I get those two a lot.
Those two, right?
But
I used to get Gwen Stefani a lot when I had full blonde hair, which I don't want to post any of those pictures. That's pretty I'm not gonna do that.
So we were, Sanaz was out there supporting the fundraiser, and I saw her come in the building, and I was like, that chick looks vaguely familiar. No, I don't know who that is, whatever. So somebody was saying something about, they were talking about something, and I heard Metal Sanaz, and I'm like, Metal Sanaz? Oh my gosh, that's that girl from MySpace, right? The metal chick. And I had actually seen a video that she did with Dave Navarro, and on his bed. She interviewed Dave Navarro on his bed.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that? That's a good introduction. So hey, Metal, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. I didn't even know you were coming, and I was like, oh, cool, more. And you were
yeah, it's good to be here.
So you were on Dave Navarro's bed, and you were on MySpace. So I guess what was more thrilling? I don't.
I was on Dave Navarro's bed, and I was on MySpace. Those are the two things.
No, I'm sure you did more than that. That's what we've established.
Yeah, it's funny because that one video actually it's lost. It was a 1-hour interview that he actually recommended that we go live from his pad, and he decided to do it from the bed, and I was like, all right, that sounds kind of cool and weird, so we did it, but it kind of, I don't have the video anymore. I'm still like trying to dig up and find it. I don't even have it at all. So
was this his way of flirting with you, or no, he just thought it was cool?
No, he just thought it was cool. He was like, you're the first person who's going to interview me in my bed, so he's a good friend, so it's
cool. What was that experience like? What did you already have the questions lined up, or?
No, actually, since we were live, and he was already my friend, so I don't usually like to write up questions beforehand or anything like that. That's kind of weird to me. It just seems a little fake, so we went with the flow, and then people were chatting with us live, so they had their questions come in that my camera crew were reading it to us, and I was asking them the questions, so it was pretty cool. It was very relaxing. It was a very fast 1 hour, actually. It went by really fast.
I know, it goes very fast, even on
Matt,
too.
For those of our viewers that don't know, Sanaz is a metal promoter. She promotes all the rock and metal bands, and a lot of other bands too. And she's just really a music lover and very passionate about what she really wants to help artists out and make a difference. Because man, the music industry, the word industry and music I don't like them in the same sense, because it's like anytime you try to make money off of something, you end up.
That's all art, right?
That's everything.
All art.
Take away the art, basically, that way.
So I really like the way things are now, where you can do your own thing a little bit, and you can do what you want to do and let the people decide instead of, I don't know.
Right. That's how we got Justin Bieber, though. So. But hey, they decided, right? We were talking earlier, Metal, about the difference between, like, in the 80s, there were, like, the hair bands, the Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue, and then there was Metallica and the other. I mean, what did you, like, distinguish the differences between the different kinds of metal? I know there was metal, and there was, like, really heavy metal, and there was, there was, like, there's singing, and then there's screaming, and were you fans of all of it? Did you have a specific genre?
It all was really one thing to me. I never liked categorizing this genre, because it's already been cut up into too many pieces anyway.
Yeah.
And as we go, it's just being cut up more and more. I even heard beer metal. I never heard that one. But I mean, people are just making up names at this point. But for me, I've been a fan since I was 7 years old. And I'm 38 now.
So I was going to say a couple of years ago. But.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago. I'm 9 now.
9.
But, my parents went to a Black Sabbath concert, and I was 7, and I kind of got hooked on it, even though I got scared. But I'd never thought of it as, this one is softer and that one is more screamy, and that one they dress different, or that they do none of that really mattered to me. It was just it was from the heart. It's like it depended on my mood of what I wanted to hear, but it all kind of fell into the rock and metal scene, and those two are the same thing. They're not different. Rock and metal go hand in hand. That's what it is, and that's how it should stay. And categorizing it is just a dumb way of
selling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it never made sense to me to this
day.
But
I will say with the music, I think that you hear the music, you enjoy the music, but there's some bands, you look at Guar, or you look at Kiss, those bands are about the show. They're about dressing up. They're about a certain genre, and the live show is different than just a band out there playing. So that's changed over the years. Less people, I think. Do you feel like that whole genre of bands being really showy and dressing up and doing all those kinds of things, that's getting less and less?
Well, again, it's still different. I mean, showmanship is basically a major part of being an artist. Is you when you want to express your art, you have to have some sort of ability of being able to perform a show that would grab people's attention. Now, you can wear masks and be like War, or you can be like Slayer, just straight up, metal, nothing extra added to it. Or you can be anything. I mean, as long as the fans are grabbing onto the message and enjoying the show, and going after it and actually supporting those bands, that's all it is about. But definitely showmanship is very important. You want everybody to be able to perform the show right. I mean, you never want to go to a concert and get bored. I mean, you might as well just stay home and listen to the CD, right?
No, I hear you.
Wait,
that's one of the things I see that's kind of missing in the scene when I go around the world and I see different smaller bands. I kind of feel like most of them don't understand that showmanship part of it. The music is great, but then other stuff is kind of lacking, which brings us back to everybody like you guys and a lot of other people that I know, to educate most of the bands for them to understand what the differences are and how they can make their art better and more appealing to their fans. So.
Hey Sanaz, there's a link in the chat to the live broadcast.
YouTube, yeah.
You want to set that out to your friends and fans and
people. And I see Jamie Excuse here. I'm not sure. I don't think I made this. I opened it up yet, so I'm not sure.
No, I think Sanaz, did you invite people into the Hangout?
Yeah, I just posted it on Facebook.
That's cool. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's cool that they came in. I mean, I would have if they had a question, I would have unmuted them.
Oh yeah, we can. I guess there's a new thing where when people come in,
What I did to you at the beginning, it blocks you, so it keeps you off the. You're in the Hangout with us, but you're not in the Hangout. But no one sees you until I bring you on, so I can announce you instead of just hanging out.
So we'll figure out the next people that come in. Just let them ask Sanaz questions.
Yeah, if they have some questions. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is like a big surprise. Pretty cool. Sanaz, do you have any questions?
Sorry, I didn't know we were going to do that. So I
didn't know either. But Sanaz, you met Matt. So is there anything that you want to ask him about him or his music? Is there anything about him?
Actually, I'm waiting for him to finish his project so I can have his stuff in my hand so I can promote it, because I really, really like what he does, and he's a great person on top of it too, and he's a great friend. I mean, we've only met each other once here in LA, and that I'm a pretty good judge of character at this point after all these years. So he's one of the really, really good guys out there, and definitely a great friend. I'm sure.
Joshua looks a little bit like Jamie. Is it the same guy?
Here we can. Hey Josh, hang on. You're muted right now.
Oh my God, it's Josh. What the hell are you doing on here?
Josh is. I don't know, Josh. Welcome to Hangout Conversations. This is a show. Matt Gibson's our guest, and Sanaz is here as well.
Josh, you gotta unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I know this guy. He's a troublemaker.
Is he? That's he's a troublemaker.
Oh, now I'm gonna make him shy. No, we actually went on tour together for a couple of months. They were on the tour for a few weeks of it, but I got to become real good friends with their band, Synapse Defect. They're a crazy, crazy band, man. I mean,
so you guys, Synapse Defect, you guys have a Google Plus page and all that? You guys are doing some Hangout shows?
We don't have any Google Plus pages yet, but we do have Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. But you can't play a Hangout concert over there. Yeah. See, he's got a guitar in his hand. He's ready to rock right there.
We're live.
Live for everybody.
Have a good guitar battle between the two of them.
Yeah, that would be cool. Although the latency is an issue, so as far as multiple people playing, but
you can actually fake it okay, but it just depends on the day,
That and the guitar tone,
Cool.
I was in a Hangout with Satriani, and don't forget we talk about that. But I was in a Hangout. Joe Satriani did a Hangout a while back, and I've got my whole Pro Tools rig plugged into the Hangout, you know.
Oh.
And so basically, I've got everything ready to just rip, right? And Joe's like, "Hey, man, I see you got a guitar. Why don't you play us something?" And I cranked out a little riff, and he's like, "I got nothing, man. I'm not even plugged in." You know, so it was cool. I got to upstage one of my Guitar Heroes, but
that was awesome. Speaking of Guitar Hero, let me do a quick like this or that type thing. No wrong answer. Do you ever play Guitar Hero? Are you better at that or Rock Band or? Are you just,
I hate that program. I'm terrible at it. I think I've ruined my chances to become a Guitar Hero champion by learning to play the guitar.
But you think it's positive, right? Even though it doesn't really teach you how to play guitar, it gets
it's positive. I like the percussive elements to it, where kids are learning dexterity and accuracy with their fingers. I think it can be an introduction to playing a musical instrument. Really, the thing I like about Guitar Hero, and just because I'm horrible, I didn't like it, but
that's usually why people hate it. That's
but it gets young people into music, and that's really cool. And I think anything that gets young people to love music, Sanaz, you're talking about going to a Black Sabbath concert with your parents. What tour was that? Because I was just telling Matthew that my first metal that I heard was Mob Rules, Ronnie James Dio singing.
That was the same. It was I think it was the same. It was early '80s. You know what? I never actually sat down to calculate it. I know I was 7 years old, but
that's all she knows.
So it was probably Mob Rules or Heaven and Hell.
Well, see, I got scared and I made my parents take me away. So
you were 7 years old. Black Sabbath.
That's how they introduced me to a concert. I mean, who does that?
Well, do you think that that made your whole life? Like, because you did that, that's why you're into music, and metal and rock? And
yeah, it definitely. I mean, I really, when the first song started, I just was about to burst into tears because I was scared. So I made them leave. So it was done. It was like, I didn't even listen to one song, but it was just strong enough and it's so powerful that, from the next day I remember like stealing my stepdad's tapes at that time, because he was kind of, back in those days, he was into, I don't know, you could say metal music and like hard rock and stuff like that. So, I mean, I had the privilege of going to a lot of great shows when I was a kid and didn't even get it. But it kind of stuck with me, and I noticed that it helped me throughout my life, and no other genre of music could have done that for me. Because I do listen to other stuff. It's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, no, from 7 years old I never listened to nothing else but metal. But I never felt the same about other music than I do about metal. So it always was a very, very powerful
Do you remember, is there one concert, is there one moment besides Black Sabbath, is there something when you were older when you could appreciate it, where you're like just so excited and amazed to go to that concert off the top of your head, or...
Oh boy.
Or a few, or whatever. And it doesn't have to be the.
Well, after that I said, this is going to probably sound very embarrassing, but I think...
You saw New Kids on the Block next.
No, I never did that. Never. That never happened. That's good. I'm glad that never went on my record of that girl.
Right. But that's a lot of girls. They're kids. They're girls. They don't really, kids.
No, I was still like this. The worst probably that I made my stepdad take me to a show was to take me to Whitesnake.
Oh, but Matt Gibson likes Whitesnake.
Oh my gosh, covered up, man.
This is probably, I was like 10 or something like that, and it sounds pretty embarrassing now that I'm older. But back in
Whitesnake, they're a lot worse than Whitesnake. I mean, right? No, is Whitesnake really the bottom of the barrel?
Look, man, you got it.
Joshua wants to say something.
One of my favorite.
Well, that was the most embarrassing one I went to. Like, not embarrassing because I don't like to use that word for it, but as far as if you want to put like
it's the lowest form of music.
Yeah, it would be like, I made my stepdad, because he didn't know who they were, and they just came out, and I was just pushing and telling him I need to go see this band, and he was like, no, who is Whitesnake? And
what kind of name is a Whitesnake?
And he liked it, and then after that, he started buying all their DVDs. Yeah, right. Like there was DVDs back then, VHS tapes and all that kind of stuff. So we had everything. So you kind of cared. But you know, I also was very into Pink Floyd as a child too, because my stepdad, you know, again, you know, he was really he was a pothead. So let's just be honest here. But no, that was like, you know, that was another show that I went to when I wasn't even 10 yet, you know. And
you saw Pink Floyd when you were 9?
Yeah, probably 8. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was my second show that I went to. Was that, you know, I saw Rod Stewart and Robert Plant, and you know, just the musicians like that was something that was. But I kind of had to go with my stepdad and my mom. So yeah.
I'm worse than Sanaz. I went to a Loverboy concert.
A Loverboy?
I think I've heard that name, but I don't know who it is.
Well, the reason I went is because my guitar hero, George Lynch, their band Dokken was opening up for Loverboy. But actually, you know, and I got to be honest with you, that was a good concert. They were good. You know, I'm not ashamed to say it, you know.
Well, my mom, when I was a kid, my mom, when I was a kid, took me to see Alabama, so, you know, it wasn't...
Now, that one I haven't heard of.
They're a country band, so...
Oh, okay, that's
it wasn't the worst. It was alright as a kid, though, but... What about you? You got Joshua over there. What about you? You're a musician, too? The Rock Band Guitar Hero thing, do you hate it? Do you think it has any value?
Let me tell you something about Josh. He's really, really good at smashing his guitars on every amp and every venue that he goes to and destroying the venue.
So he has a lot of money, is what you're saying. He has plenty of money for guitars.
I already like this guy.
Sorry, Josh.
No, I'm really broke. I just buy cheap guitars to throw around.
Hey, I loved you in Almost Famous, Josh. You were good in that. That was a good movie.
But the Guitar Hero thing, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing because, you know, it's kind of hindering kids to actually learning a real instrument, but also they're seeing other styles of music and other music like you were saying earlier. So, I mean, that's really just my whole take on it. I mean, I personally don't like to play it, but
MTV doesn't really play that anymore. Like, doesn't play like it's like you don't have that. Back in the day, you got every style, and now you just get what's popular, I guess, or what's popular.
Yeah, I think Guitar Hero could be really, really good. And I'm not a gamer. I don't play any games unless I'm like super bored, and I'll play like a Tetris thing on my phone or something. But that's like the maximum that I would go to. But as far as like Guitar Hero and games like that, it would be really awesome if they would actually make the notes exactly like the way it is on guitar. So if a kid starts playing it, these kids are smart, man. They will push 200 buttons at the same time if they have to. So it's actually a good thing to get them started on something like that. That the buttons are actually the same things, same hits on the strings of a guitar instead of having the colors go up and down. Like that just doesn't make any sense.
Or there could be different levels of guitars. I think there's a way to get a real guitar and plug it into.
They're getting closer to making it so that you're just pretty much playing a guitar. I mean,
that would be good for kids because they'll learn it really, really fast. I mean, it's the age, you know, between whatever, I don't know, 7 to 10 or something. I guess most of these kids, you know, start learning stuff faster than when they start getting older, and that's when they pick up these games. So it's good to start them off really early with something that actually would benefit them. And in the long run, when they're 20-something, they can actually pick up a real guitar instead of being like, oh, well, I'm a Guitar Hero champion. I know how to play.
Sanaz, do you play guitar at all?
No, I don't. I don't play anything. I do know how to push the play button, though, on everything.
That's awesome. Yep. I don't play guitar either, so we're the same problem. No, I can play E minor over and over and try to sing Eleanor Rigby really badly, but that's about it. What about writing or performing? Do you have a preference on that, Matt? Do you prefer one or the other? Writing a song? Or
I like the finished product. You know, I like to perform. Because you know I was in the military for a long time. Every band that I ever joined, I would get deployed somewhere. It's like, all right, guys, I'm going to be your new lead singer, lead guitar player, let's rock. Oh, hey, I got to go. Darn it. You know, and so it's just like, so you know, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that it was. I don't have a lot of live performance experience because of that, you know. So I've been doing it on YouTube and doing it in my studio and everything. But the Hangouts are really cool, you know, because I am getting people that are hearing my music live, and it's going to be broadcast out there to everybody, you know. And I have played live in front of people before, mostly, you know, just like, I don't know, you know, like open mics,
small stuff, yeah.
Yeah, small venues, open mics where I would go in and just do a guitar solo, you know, and throw my guitar down and walk off the stage.
And you wouldn't destroy it on an amp like some people, right?
I can't afford to. You know? But yeah, so I'm really a performing artist, and you know, you're going to see once I get the record done, I'm a very visual person, and I don't know if I still have my profile with the makeup and all that stuff, but you know.
No way! I want to see that.
Okay.
We'll see that. We'll share that after the show.
It's kind of like a little bit Kiss-ish looking, a little bit The Crow.
I'm scared already.
Yeah, but I like the whole art form of being there, creating an environment, creating a feel that makes the most emotional impact that you can on somebody with your music, you know. And you should don't just use your, you know, like the whole Marilyn Manson stuff. You know, I'm not a huge Marilyn Manson fan, but I respect what he does because he really creates a vibe. You know, kind of Alice Cooper. You know, you're talking about like, you know, Guar and Kiss. You know, they all have different.
Well, when it comes to Marilyn Manson, I respect the fact that he looked like that and he's still married Rose McGowan. So that's kind of, that was kind of impressive. But
I like Rammstein. Rammstein is
love Rammstein.
I really want to see them live.
Gonna vomit right now because he heard that all throughout the tour.
He's like, White Snake, Rammstein, can't take it anymore.
I love Rammstein, but she just blew it out of the water. It was ridiculous. It was either Megadeth or Rammstein the whole tour.
Well, you know.
How old is Dave Mustaine right now? He's got to be 50s.
Yeah, I think.
He's good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's either 50 or going to be in 50.
You still go out with him. He's probably married though.
He's pretty cool. He's awesome.
He's a cool guy.
Some of my stuff. Hold on.
And Dave Navarro's pretty cool too, right? So did you know Dave Navarro when he was in Nirvana, or not till after that?
Not Nirvana.
What?
Oh no, that's I was thinking Dave Grohl. Dave Navarro's Red. Yeah, my bad.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. So did you know him when he was? What band was he in when you met him? My bad. I knew he was in two bands, but you've never mixed up Dave Grohl and Dave Navarro. Whatever. Okay, back off. Back off.
Are you asking me or are you asking
me? Well, yeah. I don't think I'm asking you about Dave Navarro. Yeah. Just that when he.
Oh, what? I've never met Dave Navarro. Sanaz, I think he's asking you, what band was he in when...
What band was he when you met him, yeah? Or what was he doing?
Oh, my God.
It was before he met Carmen Electra, right? Did I get that right?
No. I actually met him after they split up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was a lot happier. Was he wearing less eye makeup, or not really?
No, he always wears his eye makeup.
Did you ever apply his eye makeup? Was that ever...
No.
He does his own.
The only thing I've done is I braided Josh's hair.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Nice. The braiding of Josh's hair. It's got a lot of hits, right?
Yeah. No, so, I don't actually. I don't. Me and Dave really don't talk about music stuff much.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do, but we don't. And I think, well, when I actually met him was, I met him when all those fires were going on in LA. I think it was about 6-7 years ago. There was like this big thing going on, and then we had a charity thing. We had a charity event going on, so he was part of the charity too. So I met him over there, and we just became really good friends. So it's been a long time, but I don't remember what he was doing at the time. But I think the first show that I actually went to that he was performing was when he was doing his solo stuff. He was with a DJ. You know, the DJ was playing the music and he was playing the guitar over it and stuff like that. So that was the first show that I went to. That was really cool, actually. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to mix those
I don't like DJ stuff.
Yeah, but to mix it with the guitar is probably really cool.
Yeah, he was just, you know, completely in front of the stage playing the shit out of that guitar, and the DJ was all the way in the background, and it was a really good show. Just, you know, having one person basically right there.
Right.
Jeez, you just made me dizzy, Josh. What the
He's
hell
moving around. He's like, I can't sit still.
I got a question for Josh. You're a guitar player, right?
Yes, sir.
What are your influences? That's the guitar player question.
Oh,
He's like, there's so many. Who's the one guy that like made you pick up guitar? Was there one?
well, of course, Dimebag. I mean, I heard Pantera when I was a kid, and I was just like, I want to be Dimebag. That was it.
Get your pull on.
And I just need to go ahead and dye my beard. But
you're like buried under there. You're like, it's crazy. Does it ever get too much to taking care of that thing? It's like the rest of our life, right?
I just let it go.
Yeah, I noticed that. It seems like it's just getting bigger and bigger from when I saw you last.
It gets there.
Do you have a record coming out that's inspired by Jesus, or that would be a good album cover. So with the beard and the.
Actually, our drummer looks more like Jesus.
He does. Yeah.
He's got the whole bum thing down too. He has a beanie that just sits like that on top of his head. It's amazing how he does it.
They're really something. I mean, they were a lot of fun being on tour with, and a lot of crazy too. So that was good.
Yeah, I'm kind of can't wait to check out your music. So
Josh? Can we put you on the spot to pick up guitar? You're like, nah, I'm not.
Oh, all my guitars are upstairs. So.
All right.
Oh my God.
We'll do it some other time.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like,
I'm being lazy right now.
I don't want my fingers feel okay now. I don't want to make them hurt anymore. Joe Martinez here. Joe Martinez is a cool guy. Cool. I think it's my friend Joe Martinez. So cool. What about like movies, like rock movies? Like this is Spinal Tap or Almost Famous. You guys now you have like a favorite rock movie, or like I don't know, the wall, or Hard Day's Night or something. I don't know. Is there a favorite?
Well, how can anybody turn down The Wall? Like that was incredibly done back in the day. That's like, it's classic, but it's still nobody's been able to do anything remotely close to that yet. That thing was amazing, and I maybe I haven't seen any, but I really haven't seen nothing like close to that.
The Who tried with Tommy a little bit, but
heavy metal, baby.
Heavy metal.
You know, the funny thing about that, you know, because Sammy Hagar sang the theme song to that. I just came out of the military, so I forgot how curly my hair is, right? So I'm growing it out, and I'm in like stage 1. And one of my friends told me that I look like Sammy Hagar in the off season, so I thought it was kind of funny.
How did you know that
you do look a little like Sammy Hagar now that you had to point that out, except you're not as old. He's on Google Plus. He did like a hangout. This is crazy.
Yeah, that was the one that I was with Satriani. It was a Chicken Foot release with and I think Sammy and Michael Anthony and Joe and I can't remember their drummer's name. But anyway, I think they all did hangouts. It was pretty cool. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. What about you guys? Do you have The Wall pretty much is everyone's favorite rock? Is there any movie that like you're like, oh yeah, that's rock and roll? Or that's like, I know Almost Famous everyone loves, but I don't know how accurate people like it. I don't know.
What do you like?
I don't know. I like Spinal Tap. I think it's hilarious. I like comedy, so.
I know all my amps do go to 11, so.
I know.
It's the only number they have. And it's just an on and off switch. 11 off. 11 off.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I love that 11 thing because 11 is actually my weird number. Every time I look at the clock or anywhere I look at, there'll be an 11. So, it's like, wow.
Oh, that's my birthday. That's one of the.
And it's my birthday too.
Yeah, May 11th.
April 11th.
Oh, on
This
May.
is like an aligning of the planets right here.
Aligning of the 11.
It is. Oh, the win-win's coming together.
Plus the plus ones even.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, you want to play some more? You like look like you're itching to play.
You know, I am kind of like played out right now, but
all right. Well,
I had a massive heart.
because you're like going, you're moving your fingers around. So.
Oh, I was just guitar players can't like not play their guitar when they're holding it. Sorry, I just.
But when asked, they're like, no, I'm played out.
No, it's just I had a hard drive failure right before I moved, and I haven't recovered from it. I have to redo a whole bunch of my backing tracks and stuff for my demo stuff. So I just have some SoundCloud stuff that I had with the vocals removed and like the other song I did without lead guitar. But that's kind of all I have right now, other than pick up an acoustic, and I don't want to do that because that's all anybody does in Hangouts. Is play acoustic guitar, which is great, but I want to be the different guy. I want to be
different.
The rock
guy.
Right.
Cool.
We need to get Josh in here, and then I won't be lonely as the only.
You won't be the only lonely rocker. No, I had a band, the Whiskey Bash.
I got you covered.
On the spot. Okay,
Is
go.
he really? You want to get a guitar? Really? Wow.
He finally did it. See,
he got inspired.
like that. You just have to push him.
Oh, that was a thing. Oh, he's got an acoustic.
Uh-oh. He's an asshole. He had it right
Don't
there.
play. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, hey, one thing you guys don't know about that because you're new is like on-air broadcasting. We can't play copyrighted stuff because it's the laws about broadcasting it are
It's
different.
weird. Yeah.
And Google will shut your account down.
The weird thing about it is that I don't understand. Like, it's okay to record a copyrighted song for no money, but you can't do it live. Which is, to me, if I'm watching, isn't that weird? It's like I'm watching you guys live, but someone hitting play and watching the same broadcast. But it's weird. I don't know. But so you talked about SoundCloud and you are on MySpace. Like, what do you guys think on social media and music and how it's changed? Like, so now you're probably like going to be the expert with MySpace and how it's everyone moved over. Are you? You were pissed off at Mark Zuckerberg, or who you pissed off at, or at Google?
I am mad about a lot of different things that are going on in the industry, and not many people get a chance to be behind the scene to see these people and stuff like that. And I'm not even going to name anyone at all. I'm not going to open my mouth to that part. But basically, all I have to say is, especially for bands and artists out there, is to be extremely careful who you deal with. Just like Matt said before, metal industry, those two words should be completely separate. And the industry part is something that most bands don't really don't understand it. Most of them, I'm not saying everybody, but most of them don't understand it. Most of them know just a little bit about it, and they get abused. They get abused, but sometimes they don't even know that what's happening to them, and they may never even find out the damages that has been caused by certain people in the industry part, and it's really sad for me to see, and I've been actually like complaining about it a lot on Facebook and on my website lately, because I just can't hold it in anymore, and it's just feel like if I don't say anything or step in, nobody else is really gonna say anything. So I'm like, you know what? It's either dipping up on the whole thing and just closing the door and not doing anything, or just go 180 on everyone and just kind of put out all the information that I have out there for everyone to know about it.
Like
and
tell all kind of thing.
Yeah, but without names. I don't want to start like pointing fingers of
But when you say names, you're talking about their actual just executives. You're talking about musicians that are established.
They're not. It's not any of the musicians. It
Okay.
has nothing to do with the musicians.
Studios.
It has the people behind the music industry. The people that the PR companies, the labels, the management companies, people who run the whole business aspect of a band are the people who are not, you know, they're greedy. And I'm not saying everyone, you know, you can never say everybody's the same, but it's horrible to see that at this point there's only a handful of people that I trust. And that's a really awful feeling to have, because when I first started, you know, helping out bands and stuff like that, I trusted everybody. I thought everybody was great. I thought everyone that said whatever was just awesome ideas and great stuff. And then little by little, I realized that I am completely wrong, and this is just really bad. And as years go by, it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Frank Storm, who's watching, he said keep the rights to your stuff. That's the big thing. Keep your stuff.
I mean, keep every right of everything that you do out there. And when even as simple as this, when you're recording something and you have it on the timeline on your system, you know, just make sure that every person's name is on that timeline, saying who did the bass, who did the drums. I mean, it's as detailed as that. Like, even things as small as that can end up ruining you in the future if you don't have it on there from the beginning stages of writing your songs. Because, I mean, these people... I mean, most guys that I know that are in bands, I mean, I don't blame them, because they're artists, and that's, you know, they gotta just worry about their art, and that's what they know. But when it comes to business part, this is what the industry has figured out, is that, oh, well, there's a bunch of bands out there that don't know about these stuff, so let's put all these little claws that they're not even going to catch onto it, and then go after them. And
they don't even look. They don't even give it to a lawyer to look at. They just sign.
Yeah, most of them don't, because, you know, they get excited. They feel like if they wait, they might lose that opportunity. Some of them might say, you know, I don't have $1,000 to spend on a lawyer to read it or whatever. I mean, there's so many different excuses that come into place of just not avoiding going to a lawyer. And I keep telling them, I'm like, you know, read it 5,000 times if you have to. Take it to a bunch of your friends. If, you know, tell them to dig out all those little words and put them together, because there's one little word can make a big difference. Unfortunately, I've had many friends get signed and then get shelved and then lose every right to everything that they have ever put out. Their music videos, their songs, their albums, like everything that they put so much money and sweat and effort on, it's gone. They don't own nothing. They don't see a penny of it. And this is not, you know, one band. It's continuously. I see this go on and on and on, over and over and over. And I'm not a musician myself, but since I try to help, at least, you know, as much as I can, it just makes me so mad. You know, it's like I'm just at a point of just, I really want to go out and just start, you know, naming everybody and just putting them on the spot and be like, be careful of this person. But that's not a professional way of doing stuff.
So do you think the best thing to do? You think, I mean, studios are great and record contracts are great, but it seems to me the best thing to do is try to be your own everything and be your own independent everything. And
yeah, and a great example of it is Josh sitting there. You know, they do everything themselves. I just talked to their drummer, and he told me that he booked almost a 70-day tour for you guys.
Yep, we're going on the road for 2.5 months.
Wow,
yeah,
cool.
and they did this on their own. They record their music. They
made the phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, they do the phone calls. They spend their time. They work on it. They really bust their asses to make stuff happen. And obviously, you know, when you hit the road, you're gonna get screwed over. You know, of course, you know, some people are not gonna want to pay at the end of the night, or things happen, and that's fine. But at least you don't have a third person out there that you don't really know what they're saying on behalf of you and what they're doing. So basically what they're doing is they know what they've planned from and who they talk to and who that person is and how they're going to do the shows. And, you know, they even went out and bought their own bus, you know, and this is an example of a band that really I see them as they don't need anyone, and they can do it themselves, and they've done a great job so far. I mean, it's a great thing to hear that, you know, a label would come over and be like, oh, you know, I'm going to pay you $1 million and put you on the biggest tours and make you the opening band for every big band out there. Yeah, those are just, you know, most of them are. Yeah,
honestly, that and you know, international distribution would be the only reason to sign with a label now. Is
to give away your international rights.
Yeah, and when you get signed to a label, it gives you a little bit more prestige. You can open up for bands like, you know.
Are there bands that won't let you open up for them unless you have a label?
Yeah, or tour with them, you know,
wow.
Stuff like that. I mean,
I would think that's probably because their label is asking for that. It's not the band. Again, it's not the band. Even
it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Yeah, exactly. And
industry.
It's always, you know, it's not the bands. Like, let's pretend Metallica, okay? Let's say if these guys want to go open up for Metallica, it's not Metallica's decision to say whether you play for, you know, open for us or not. It's basically, it becomes
Metallica's not big enough where they can decide who opens for them?
No. I mean, they don't deal with that stuff.
They probably have influence. They probably have.
But they have friends, don't they? Have like people that that they bands they like that they know.
I really don't think so. I mean, that does happen every once in a while, that there's a band that's small that goes on tour with a big band, and probably somebody in this band is connected to the other band, and now they're girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you know, something like that might once in a blue moon happen, but in reality of it, and majority of the time, that's not the case, and they're not the ones who make their own decisions. I mean, I'm friends with just about every big metal band out there, and I can't even contact them to ask them if they would do a show or not. And this is not even like, you know, small scale shows. I've offered some major shows to them, and even though they're real good friends of mine, they're not really allowed to even talk about it. They'll be like, Sonaz, you know, you really need to contact our management or
because they signed something or
agent or this and that. And then you call the booking agent and they'll ask you for your life. I mean, literally, like the prices that I've heard from these people were just outrageous.
Wait, so they want you to pay them to open for them?
No, that's the amount of money they would want. If, let's say, if I come across a big festival and the people from the festival would be like, hey, can you head up so and so? We don't have connection with them. See if they want to play this show, and it's in their hometown, so it's no cost to them really. Well, it is. There's always a cost for a band to come out, but they thinking, you know, it's in their town, so it's easier. And I hit up the band, and that has happened to me before many times. I hit up the band can't, they don't have any kind of permission to go behind their booking agency and label and managers and this and that to do anything. Even if they want to. They can't even be like, you know what, screw you, I just want to go play my acoustic guitar that night because I feel like it. They can't do that. They're not allowed to. It's like, it's so bad. It's terrible out in there, and it just, you know, it's kind of, it's disgusting. But like for big bands, I'm not really worried about the big bands really, because it is what it is, and that's how they've been dealing with their situation for many years, and that's how they do it, which is fine. What I'm worried about is the smaller bands who don't know what's really going on. I mean, the tour we did with Synapse Defect, you know, it was kind of a battle of the band thing, and I noticed that whenever they were asking any band that was on there, you know, why do you want to get signed? I mean, what do you want the most? They would be like, we want to get signed. Well, why do you want to get signed? well, because we want to start opening up for big bands, we want to make money, we want this, that. It's like, none of that really comes with getting signed.
No,
right?
you basically get a glorified loan.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
still
and
a poor musician.
they charge you for everything, right?
Very high interest.
Yes.
Like when you finally have an album that sells, and they're like, yeah, well, this is your cut because we had to spend money on marketing and this and that and this person and.
Yeah, and your cut is
most of
zero.
that is going to be lies. Like most of that whole marketing and PR thing that they're talking about, that, oh my God, this company is the biggest company or whatever, and this and that, you pay tens and thousands of dollars to do your marketing. They don't really do anything.
But there are some bands, like I know there are some bands that have their own labels where they sign people. Are those BS too, or?
Well, haven't you noticed that since the past, 15 years or so, most of the bands have created their own label, set up their own studios. They help other bands record. They help other bands master their stuff.
Now, Dave Matthews is in metal, but Dave Matthews Band has a label, and they've signed a bunch of people, right?
Yes, I mean, this is the way the industry is going. I mean,
eventually,
the bands
cut out the studios, right?
I mean, Mike Patton.
You're going to do everything yourself. You have to do everything yourself. I mean, and it doesn't matter how much you want to sit there and cry about, oh, well, I don't have time to do everything myself. I need help. It's still better to do it yourself.
Right.
Because
one thing.
What's Matt's going to say? Yeah, Matt?
Oh, go ahead, Josh. What were you going to say?
Oh no, it's nothing really. I was just adding on that Mike Patton has Ipecac Records. Even Hank 3 DIYs everything. I mean, he's got his name working for him, but he still puts in all the work himself. And he plays with several bands. He plays with Ass Jack. I don't know if Superjoint Ritual's still doing stuff, but with Phil Anselmo, but.
And you guys, on your tours, you guys were opening for people? You were booking openings yourself? Or?
We kind of mix it up. I mean, what we do is kind of just throw the local act that pulls the most people out. They're the headliner usually, and it's just to promote ourselves a little bit better. We throw ourselves in the middle of the show. Just putting our name out there because we don't have a label or a booking agency or a marketing agency backing us, so we just need to. We're doing everything grassroots. Everything is.
One thing I wanted to say, Sanaz was saying, go ahead and do it all yourself. Well, I think there's a lot of truth to that, but that's kind of like with Google Plus. The thing I like about it is you meet real people face to face in these hangouts, and I've had meetings with the top people in Google. I've met my guitar heroes in here. I've made really good friends. Matt is a really great guy, and he's really cool about promoting people and promoting the platform. And Sanaz I met because of Google Plus. I met Damon Marks through Google Plus. Got involved with the Traveling Guitar Foundation. And
part of that is this space. Is that this space enables you to talk to people, connect with people,
right.
That you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, which is weird because we're weird as human beings. Why we connect with people and why we say, I don't want to deal with that person. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel already pretty comfortable with Josh there. I just met him, so
right.
It's
because of the beard. Because you feel
it's the beard, yeah.
It's squishy and soft. Yeah.
But he's kind of makes me he's the dominant beard, so I have to submit to his beard.
he's the top beard. Oh, watch out.
But yeah, so I think you don't have to do it yourself. You just don't have to have someone help you. I think building relationships with good people that are doing it themselves and networking with those people instead of the people that say, oh, we'll do it all for you for your life and your entire, all of your music and all of your money.
Exactly. I mean, this is the way I put it is basically just the worst case scenario that's out there because I see so many people getting hurt. But like you said, I mean, there is a lot of still good people out there. There's not that many of them, but there's still a lot of good people. Like, I would do anything for Synapse Defect. If they want promotion, I'll do it for them. If they want, me to go out to their shows, I'll go to it. I mean, they've taken care of me. I've spent, a night or two at their house. They took care of me. And then, same with Matt, No, not like that. Stop it.
We gotta entertain the people. They're watching. Anyway.
No, we were on tour, and they were actually really good hosts, and it was a tough tour to begin with. But and then same with Matt. He's helped me with a lot of stuff, just connecting with Google Plus and getting on here and introducing me to you and some other great people that are on here. And this is what I'm talking about. This is doing it yourself. This is doing it yourself. Is with friends, with people you trust, with people you know.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm talking about is.
So we can have a sleepover at your place, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's
cool.
a swimming pool. You want to come?
Hey, we're gonna be sleeping on your floor when we come through LA.
Nice.
I know. I'm waiting for that. But it's just a matter of like friendship and that the value of friendship and honesty is really, really important, and it's hard to find good people and trust, and after a while you just start feeling like there's no one out there that really wants to help you, and it becomes a bummer, and you feel like everything's just going downhill. And if somebody just throws a contract in front of you, doesn't mean that they're your friends. It's completely a separate thing. So in that scenario, you got to be extremely careful of what you're doing and what you're saying.
You know what? I just reminded me of the movie Airheads, because I think about that movie and about how that movie is the perfect movie where they put the contract in front of them, but they didn't listen to any of their music. They don't care about anything like that. They're just like, yeah.
That's true. That's actually true. Like, I hear from a lot of bands, they'll tell me, hey, can you come host this show? We're going to be playing, and we actually heard, so-and-so is going to be here from a certain label and stuff. And I just look at them, I'm like, you really? Like, you really think they're going to, like, give you a hint that somebody's going to be there from a label checking you guys out? Why would they do that? And if they wanted to do that, why would you know about it? I mean, and these labels, they don't really come out to your shows anymore. This is like all 80s fantasy, It's like, yeah, these things happened in the 80s when people actually cared and bands actually cared to promote too. I mean, back then, even Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and those guys were walking up and down Sunset Boulevard every freaking night, passing out flyers and forcing people to come to their shows.
And maybe they liked it.
And being like, okay, so-and-so is going to come and check out our show, and then we're just going to become millionaires. No, they really cared about their art, and they really struggled down that street. They did everything. I actually lived in their old apartment. Cool. I used to. This is not it. But, they really struggled, and they earned what they got. And it wasn't like nowadays. It's like, oh, well, I'm on Facebook, so like, and come and sign me. It's like, no, man, it's just not like that. It just frustrates me so much. And I'm not saying I know it all, because I don't, but
no, but you're right. And
that I do know is, like, I want to pass it on to my friends, to actually people who care. There's some people that they're stubborn and they don't care, and they don't, whatever, they can do whatever they want to do. I don't care. Even my friends, if I go tell them something and I suggest something to them, they can take it or leave it. I'm not going to get hurt about it. But I always feel like I'm obligated. If you're my friend, I'm going to tell you what it's like and what I feel about it, and you take it or you don't. You go by your own. You're a grown guy, and just do whatever you want to do. But at least listen to me, because I am really not out there to destroy anyone. I'm not. Unless there's a bad company out there that's destroying everybody else, then yeah, I will step in and I'll kick anyone's ass if I have to, and I don't care about it.
Well, some people are into that, yeah. It's a crazy world.
I'm not into that, but I can definitely become violent when it comes to stuff like that if I have to.
Is that how you got the streak in your hair? What?
Yeah, I kind of had a stroke in the middle of a fight.
That's probably what happened. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but what you're saying is true. This format, you can. I don't want to say it's a lazy man's format, but if you, even those people that are lazy, like even Josh got up and grabbed the guitar, and you can literally just hit a button, grab a guitar, and start playing, and then people can see you play instead of just watching a video or looking at your promotion. They're like, oh, you're actually like in front of me, and I can see you, and it's live. You know, that's right from my house. I mean, many of our places.
Playing music, the first concert that I've done of my music was in a Hangout. And I had my Pro Tools rig coming in here, and I tweaked it and got it. You know, a lot of my friends helped me that when I first got on Google+. And it's freaking scary because if you're looking at these people right here, looking at you right in your face, it's very intimate. I mean, and so you're doing your music, and it feels like because honestly, right now, we don't know how many people are watching us. There's 90 million people on Google+.
300 million.
Oh, it's 300 now? Okay, well, I'm out of date. But there's a lot of freaking people.
That went up fast.
And we don't know who's seeing this. This could be millions of people. There could be millions.
Well, the other thing too is that it's recorded, so it goes on YouTube, and then people can see it anytime, and it's out there. So. Yeah,
and you're gonna edit all the dumb things I said, right?
What? That's a lot of work. I'm too lazy. You didn't say anything dumb. You've been great. So, Hangouts. I mean, this is more Google Plus nerdy, but like during the day or at night, do you like them better? That was the last question I forgot to ask you.
Me?
Yeah, you like it. Well, they had this is their first kind of hangout, right?
Sanaz has been in a couple hangouts already.
Yeah, this is my
Sanaz, talk about your hangout experience. What you liked about it.
Well, it was really cool because actually the night that I met Matt at the Traveling Guitars Foundation, their show that they had going on, I really just went there to say hi to everyone, and I ended up doing what I'm doing right now, you know. So that was kind of cool and interesting to just sit there and kind of start somewhat, you know, hosting the show, but not, you know, just speaking to
all the people. Sanaz was my co-host for a lot of the broadcasts. We broadcast some of the.
Yeah. So that was fun, and since it was really, you know, loud there, we were using one set of mics, so it was like me talking to everyone, and then I would pass it on to artists that was coming over and talking. So I kind of liked it a lot. I was like, this is something that I've been looking for, and it's funny because I actually joined Google Plus a long time ago. Like when I say a long time ago, it's like it's been around for only it hasn't been around that long.
Internet time.
But I think it was maybe 2 years ago. About 2 years. So, yeah.
So you joined Google, but it's only been around a year.
She might have been.
I'm pretty sure it was before that.
Oh.
I was a beta member.
Yeah, we were beta members.
It was actually, see, there was this another company that I used to have as one of my partners, and we were working together, and I wanted to check up on my site over there, and they were completely gone, and I couldn't figure out what happened to them. So I gave them a ring, and I was like, what's going on? And then they took Brian, who was my friend, he was like, oh, no, we're doing Google Plus now. And I was like, what's that? So he basically, I think it was before it actually went, came online, and he showed me some stuff on there and things like that, and it was kind of interesting, but it was very, very new, like, might have not even been on, and I was just like looking around it, but I never actually got a chance to like play around with it until I met Matt, and he kind of guided me through it, and we did a hangout together. I think it was like a week after the traveling guitar event, and that went really good. And now I'm really excited because we were talking about integrating this the Hangout into my website, which is going to be awesome because I really want to interact with everybody, and for them to be able to see me live, I think is really important, rather than just hearing some voice back there that might be recorded, or it might. You
and
can
get to see your pool, and there's the sun.
Hey,
yeah. Well, actually, it's been really, really like cloudy here today. It's really strange. It was really hot, but it's really good. It's a very, very good tool. I'm still getting used to it. I'm sure once I get more, I play around with it more, stuff like that. I will be on here way more than I have been. So
I can't ignore your tattoo. What is your what is that? What is your tattoo?
Oh, Josh cracked my shoulder.
Nice.
No, I used to draw this when I was a kid, so I just kind of...
It's like a tree, or...?
Yeah, I used to draw it as a tree when I was a kid, and I kind of did it to over here. Then it waited a couple more years and did more on my back, and I think it's time to do a little bit more, because you can't get cracked all at once. It needs to be little by little. Hi, Peter, by the way. Sorry,
Peter's here. Hey, Peter. Yeah.
Text over there.
Yeah, Peter's here. Peter just got into the Hangout. Peter Kroll, it's his first Hangout, which is cool. He doesn't yet have a video camera, but definitely grab a video camera for whatever, 20, 30, 50 bucks, and flip it on, see your face.
Hey, Matt, is there still like a time limit for on air?
Yeah, 4 hours is the time limit.
Oh, it's 4 now? Okay.
Yeah. And then you can start a new one though afterwards. But the other thing too that's cool is you do these Hangouts, and then they're on YouTube, so they could be on your device anytime. They could be on Google TV, Roku, Xbox. People could find this in so many different ways, And then I think they're just going to push it further and push these shows, these videos further. So you're going to people are going to stop having. People don't want to pay for cable anymore. They don't want to pay for that stuff, and it's going to be just their phones and the internet, and it's going to be, oh, what content can I find? And all this free content is out there, so which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. That makes a big difference. And why pay for anything, right?
Yeah, who needs to pay for
when the technology is there already. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, but I guess if you have the money, I guess people are like, all right, that's cool. So good.
I don't have enough money like Josh does, breaking guitars all the time.
Yeah, I know. You just have a pool, that's all. But everyone in California has to have a pool.
I need an endorsement so I can start breaking more.
Yeah, like,
I'll find you a endorsement.
Are you the only one that breaks the guitars, or everyone in the band does it?
Well, we just acquired a new guitarist. He actually played for Synapse before I joined, and the reason I got intrigued by Synapse is because he threw down like me, so we both flail guitars. It's kind of, if you've seen Dillinger Escape Plan live, it's kind of similar to that. It's just everybody's jumping off everything and going crazy. So
if you get dizzy easily, don't go to their show. It's definitely, it'll make your head spin a few times. So a few times I got very dizzy at your shows, actually, a couple of times. I had to like step back from the stage. I was like, whoa, this is like getting to me.
The beard sunk you in. We did a...
It was the beard. That's what it
beard,
was.
Man. So I put together a concert back in February, and I'm doing one in August, and it was people that I met on Google+. We're doing, like, we call it a hurl hand in real life. People come from all over the world, and I'm in New York, so we're doing the second one in New York. We do them all over. And I'm actually having a concert of a few artists playing one night together, which is pretty cool. And last time was really awesome when we did it. People came and met each other, and they jammed out, and then we had the on-air putting the whole thing broadcast at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. And I think that's going to become the future. People putting their own concerts together, meeting people on the computer, being their own bookers, their own everything, their own promoter.
We should make Josh, you guys' next rehearsal, you guys should be live, I think.
We can do that.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
You should, just to put on the, like...
What you do is just take the feed off your mixing board and plug it into another computer, and like out your headphone jack, and try to get a good mix on the headphones, and just run it right into the Hangout, and you just switch your interface to your mic jack for your video camera. That's one way, a quick way of doing it. But I've got like Pro Tools, and then I got all my preamps, and I got an 11 rack and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's all the drummer stuff. I just have my guitar stacked.
do that.
But hey, I did forget something that I need to do a shameless plug for myself because
I was gonna ask you about the contest. Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
I was getting there, dude. I was getting there. No patience. But first, you mentioned Pro Tools. Frank Storm, he's watching. Hey, Frank, he asked you about Pro Tools, Logic, or others. So Pro Tools, is your DAW a choice? Or?
You know, it's kind of like what you get started with first, really. I mean, they're all good. You know, like I bought an 11 rack. It had Pro Tools with it, and I got comfortable with it. And once you make an investment of time in a particular platform, it's really hard to like switch to another one. You know, it doesn't feel right. It's like if you're a Windows or a Mac guy. You know, if you've got the feel for it and it works for you, most of the different DAWs, you know, the different platforms, you know, Cakewalks, Sonar, Cubase, and there's all kinds of free ones or cheap ones out there. There's Reaper, there's N-Track Studio, to name a few of them. Ableton Live is another not free one. But I mean,
unless you crack it. But.
Yeah, it's just a matter of what you get comfortable with and what you start up with most of the time.
Cool. We got another Dustin Wilkinson's here, but I think he blacked out. Hey, Dustin. This is pretty cool. I've never done this before, where we get and a lot of these people are coming from Sanaz's Facebook, which is like, we're getting people over, we're breaking the barrier between Facebook and Google Plus, and we're converting some people. Although I saw some people were like, I don't want to give them my real name at this place, but, you know. What about, so band names? Are there any fun band names you guys have been in? Like funny, funky, like that's the hardest thing. Come up with a band name. You can take more time to come up with a band name than a song, right? It could be forever. No? You have any stories about a band name? Shitty Beatles? I don't know. Something? Probably not.
Josh? I don't have a band, so I don't have any.
Oh, Josh. Oh, Josh, you muted? Because Josh looks like he's talking.
Okay, sorry. I had a grind band called Auschwitz Summer Camp.
What? That sold a lot. What? Wow. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Played one show.
Until we played a synagogue.
Yeah.
That was
it wasn't my band name.
I mean, it is interesting, but I don't know how many records. So that's cool. How long did that band stay together?
Well, it was short-lived.
It was like World War II, right? It ended.
One show, they didn't like your name, they kicked you out. We don't like.
I was in limbo with my previous band and the one I'm in now, so I was just like, yeah, I'll come jam with you guys, and yeah, we did a show, and I was just like, it's not really for me. So.
Definitely not. Hey, Dustin, do you have any questions, Dustin? Do you have any questions for Peter? Feel free to ask the questions. So now it's like MySpace. So do you miss MySpace and stuff? You still probably have an account there, right?
Oh my God, I miss MySpace. MySpace was so much better than Facebook.
Right.
Agreed.
But Google Plus is working on it. I mean, what? I mean, now that MySpace, Justin Timberlake sort of owns it, and what the deal is, and you know, it's funny. Tom Anderson, MySpace Tom, he lives on Google Plus. He's got an account here. He's got pictures. He's got himself playing Tiger Woods golf.
I think I've hung out with him before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's a really good guy. I actually worked with MySpace for 6 months when I started MySpace Metal, and I actually had to force Tom into putting metal on MySpace because that was just not happening. And I knew those guys because my boyfriend at the time, he built MySpace. So I was like, look, why?
Your boyfriend built MySpace?
Yeah. Well, Tom is not a programmer. He was the visionary of MySpace, and
my girlfriend invented the
I
internet.
actually met my boyfriend on MySpace. That was weird. So that was like really strange. But you know, I met him on there, and I had no idea that he worked there, and. And Tom was great. You know, I met him a few times. I actually went to Kuwait with him to do some shows for the USO and the Army and all that kind of stuff.
When you say do shows, does Tom? I've never really talked to him. Seen him. Does he have this big personality? Is he hosting it? Like what?
He's quiet. He's extremely quiet. He's
everybody's best. Everybody's friend should be the quietest. Sober, you said?
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, I went up to him and I was like, why isn't there any metal on MySpace? And he's like, I don't know. He's like all scared. I was like, dude, what the...
Don't hurt me. Here's
this is not right. And he's like, well...
Send me a friend request. I mean,
he was like, well, do something. I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, talk to the guys. And
so you were on MySpace from the beginning then, right?
Yeah, I signed up really, really early on. I think my user
2002 or 1? Wow, not even 2 more.
You know how you had the user IDs on there?
Now, did you use MySpace? Did you even use Friendster at all? Because that was popular. Friendster was more popular than MySpace until people discovered.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I was just like going. One of my old friends came over one time. She was like, I found the coolest thing ever, and she introduced me to Craigslist. And yeah, that was like the thing back then, right? And then
that's a great dating site.
Yeah, exactly. And she was like, yeah, you can find guys on here and this and that. I'm like, dude, no, thank you. I don't want to find any guys on here. Oh, but then
they found
after
you though.
Yeah, they did. It was funny, but we did play around with it because it was just something fun to do, and it was new, so I was like, okay, let's play around with it. And then Friendster came along, and I was on there. I met some really cool people on Friendster. I don't even know what my account is anymore on there. It's still there, but I don't know the password or nothing.
So, but MySpace totally revamped their whole thing, but. Yeah, so did you get to meet, like, I know Dane Cook was big, his whole career is from MySpace, right?
Did I do, there's a helicopter going by my head. What?
Oh, what happened? Is there another murder in California?
I'm in LA. People die here, not every minute.
No, I was saying about MySpace that, other people, MySpace made them, like Dane Cook was big with MySpace, that whole thing, right? It's a lot of other...
There was a handful of people that were, they made it pretty good up on MySpace. I mean, MySpace helped a lot of people, obviously, especially the girls that wanted to be models. Everybody turned into a model all of a sudden, and it kind of changed everything. And the best thing for me was to be able to work with them closely and push the metal thing on them. So I really had to fight for it, and I really got a lot of hate stuff from it too. It was funny because like all the metal people on MySpace, when MySpace Metal started, they never really like looked up to see who started it. I mean, it was really like it was me pushing it, and I was the host of it too, and they were just like just saying anything they could to me to make me stop doing it, and they were like, this is just no room for this girl to be doing this. It's like, dude, I started it. Like, what the hell?
They didn't like that you were a girl. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, there was just too many people on there and too many people that hated everybody. I mean, you know how it is. Like, once you're behind a computer and nobody can see you,
well, that's changing, yeah.
Yeah, your balls start getting bigger, and you think, you're just it's a thing that I still deal with today too, but not as much because I just don't care.
Yeah.
But back then, it was hurting me a lot because I was like, dude, I'm like trying so hard to get metal on here, and I did. And instead of like people enjoying it, not thanking me, I don't need that, but enjoying the fact that we actually got metal on a site.
They were upset about it, about how it came to be.
So many horrible stuff. Like you should have read so many.
They felt disrespected because a woman did it.
Oh my God, it's a girl. It's like, you know what? Guess what? Let me light up your freaking little light bulb up there that doesn't work at all. The whole metal industry is ran by women. If you didn't know that, ding, now you know.
And there are.
I personally think there should be a lot more hot girls in metal that are, making things better. I mean,
and there are chick metal bands, right?
For guitars, right?
There's too many women involved, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Because it starts a lot of bad stuff. You know how women are, and I don't.
we can't say yes or no, but we will The old mind
Well,
trick
yeah.
agree with you.
You cannot say anything because you get in trouble. But like just women in general, you know, you can't. I don't hang out with girls and women. I mean, I have a couple of friends here and there, and we see each other once a year, but that's about it. Most of my friends
And
are
it's
guys.
not all women. There's just a certain type of woman, right? It's like she's like it's all.
It's not good, and you know my personality goes way better. I get along with guys way better than I do with women anyway, so I can hang out with them, and it's actually nice. You know, they get it. You know, they're more understanding than women are. How weird that is, and but yeah, most of the industry is ran by women, and most of the managers are girls. Well,
Yeah.
or old girls.
Well, you're still young, so.
I'm not, but you know. It's
Wait,
like,
if you told me you were 38, you're telling me that's old. That's discriminating. That's not old.
well, it's not young. It's not like I'm 22. So.
Well, 22, but yeah, but at 30, you're 38. You still look young. And you're more intelligent than you were at 22, right? So.
Yeah, believe me, I don't want to go back to my 20s ever again. Ever.
No.
I don't want back there.
I hear you.
But yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
it is what it is. We'll fix stuff, and the information gets out, and thanks to Google Plus, more information will get out. I want to hear more songs, Matt.
That's what I want to hear. But
What I can do is I don't have anything else I can do live right now, but I could play you one of the demos for the. I could play you a few clips here. Hang on, let me get this thing working again.
Okay,
Cool.
let me go get something too, so I'll be right back.
All right.
hey Matt, right before you play,
Yeah.
you want to just run down this real quick? We'll do a G Plus wrap up. You'll play, and then I can invite more audience people in here, or we can start a new one with audience people. I'll do
Okay.
that. That's cool.
Do you want me to talk about the contest now?
Yeah, let's talk about the contest now. So you're in a contest, and
Yeah, I've never entered a guitar playing contest before, and I was messing around and I saw this Joe Satriani contest that Guitar Center is putting on, and I just decided I was going to do it, you know. So basically, I was in second place. There's two stages. There's a social media growth stage, and if you stay in the top 10 in growth for a certain amount of time, you're qualified for your entry to be judged, your guitar entry. And basically, Satriani gave a bunch of his background tracks to some of his songs, and you do a performance over it, videotape it, and then enter it in the contest. So right now, I was in second place. I dropped down to fourth place, you know, but what I just need to stay in the top 10 to qualify for my entry. But we pretty much, I think I'm already good. But if you guys would like to add me to your social networks, I have them all listed on Google Plus and on my website at crimsonsymphony.com. And
cool.
So if you add me to those networks, my numbers will grow up. It'll keep me in the top 10 for however long so I can qualify. This weekend, I'm going to record the video of my entry, playing a cover of Satriani's Revelation. It's called Revelation -1 for the contest because obviously Joe's not playing it. And
what? You're not? Aren't you, Joe? Aren't you like the soul Joe?
No, I'm not Joe. Joe's freaking amazing. But
One thing.
but I'm going to do my own hacked up version of it, and hopefully it'll be as good as or better than 10 other people. Because if you get in the top 10 at the end, you get to go out to LA, do a master class with Joe, get a bunch of free gear and stuff. And so I'm really trying.
And you get to sleep on Sanaz's floor.
I don't think my wife would buy off on that. I'm just saying, but
Well,
she might. You know?
Her floor. All right.
It's all cool. I might bring her with me, actually. That would.
Oh, then there you go. So then she'll sign off on that.
But no, Matt, why do you always got to cause trouble? Anyway.
I'm just keeping things interesting. What?
Right. So if you guys want to help me out, you can go add me to your different social media like Facebook and Twitter, and they didn't include Google Plus, which I don't know why, but
Well, Google Plus is still new to a lot of people.
I think a lot of the social media people for big companies haven't bought off on Google Plus yet.
Right.
So.
But you can't do this anywhere else. So what we're doing here.
But I do really appreciate if you guys are out there and you were some of the people that added me and made my numbers jump. I've gained almost 1,000 people in about a week.
Nice.
It's really cool, and I appreciate it. And you guys rock, and I'm really glad that you took the time to help me out. And
you're awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, and you're gonna play us a track.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll just here's another one that. Okay, well, here's Empty with some background vocals. So you didn't hear that, so I can play you a little clip of that.
Cool.
Except I need to switch my interface, and I'm
you should switch it. Oh, don't beat up yourself.
Isn't it weird that we all get quiet and just like stare at you?
I'm used to it now, but at first it used to freak me out. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Very nervous.
Matt Gibson's going to play a song today. That was good. That was cool. That's cool. If it ain't loud, it ain't bad.
There's another one called Fading Away that I'm going to be doing. This is just kind of a guitar riff, drum beat thing. I'm not going to try to play along.
Put your face in the picture, man.
Anyway, that's one.
That was cool. All right, put your face in when you play when it's playing. Be in the it's like we see the side of your.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not being.
You're like I'm listening. Yeah.
Anyway, man, I can't hear myself when that music's on. Oh, here we go.
was cool.
Or just random jamming?
What? No, that was good. Well, Josh is an expert. Josh, what are your opinions? You could be.
You're good, man.
He's like, that's good, man. It was. What do you mean?
What do they
Peter
call
Pearl
that?
said nice.
Guitar masturbation or something?
Really? I think they did just. Yeah, guitar masturbation is guitar sex with someone you love. So, you know. So, yeah. All
right, there we go. Now I don't sound like I'm in space.
Yeah, everyone can hear you scream or no.
That spacey thing is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it's I kind of like the way I have Pro Tools hooked up here because you know you're like, I'm bleeding alone and empty.
Now do it on camera,
God
dude.
damn!
Put your face on the camera, man. We want to see you singing.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's exactly.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh, give us one more. Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Now, if only I could do that.
Yeah! I don't have the verb. Yeah.
All right.
Now, do you feel like you have to go to the bathroom now after that, or?
No, that sounds like Creed.
Sometimes during the performance.
That's Creed.
Well, actually, not like the band, but there's a YouTube link that says Creed Shreds.
Oh, that's
Sounds
great.
exactly like that. It's so funny.
Funny, yeah, I should watch that. Share that on Google Plus. Creed Shreds and all double sharing.
I got you covered.
Cool. Josh is gonna share. Share it. Learn how to share. Cool. So Google Plus. Let's talk a little bit about that. You've been here a while. Hangouts usually everyone's favorite part. You have a favorite part of Google Plus, or
Me or Sanaz?
Mr. Gibson?
Okay.
It's all you. Sanaz is taking you can take a little chapter. It's all on you, man.
Okay. Well, Google Plus is the Hangout thing about Google Plus that it makes it different from any social platform is that you really get a chance to see people face to face, you know, and there's a difference between typing an email to somebody or making a phone call or seeing them face to face, you know, and I really think some people are good at playing poker and they can hide if they're a really bad, evil person, but most people, you can tell if they're genuine. And I think that this is a game changer here because you have access to people that you normally wouldn't have access to in the real world. Like, for example, I know newscasters of like major network TV stations. Like, I'm friends with them, you know. I know people that are big in tech that they would never have time to talk to me, you know. I know people that are big in the recording industry, big in the television. You know, I know actors and actresses that I've met on here, and I would feel comfortable talking to them, you know, in real life. And these are real connections that we make here. And I think Mike Elgin, he wrote an article about it recently. I don't know if you read it, but he was just talking about when he meets somebody that it was his Facebook fan, right? It's never really that. It's like, oh, hi, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, yeah, you're my Facebook friend, or whatever, you know. But he said that when he meets people that he's friended on Google Plus, it seems like you're already friends with them, you know. And I don't know if everyone has that experience, but I think if you get in the Hangout community and you start to meet people and you start to see that there's people all over the world, you know. I've hung out with people from all the countries of the world, you know, and most people just want the same thing. They just want peace, and they want people to get along. They want friends. They want their family. They want to, you know, just have a nice life and do what they want to do with their life, you know. And you know, Google is an amazing company that they recognize that there is, I'm going to say, relative good in people. I don't think anyone is good, you know, but I think because we all have our own motives and stuff to do things and our own reasons, none of us have pure, you know, motives that don't have even a teeny weeny bit of selfishness. You know, we're all human beings. That's part of being human, you know, self-preservation and stuff. But, you know, it's like your average person is not like going to like stab you in the back. They're not going to like lie to your face and then do the exact opposite, you know. I mean, most people don't do that kind of stuff, you know, or most of the people that I consider my friends don't do that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think Google is a really smart company, and they're trying to. It's almost like they try to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to get along and you're going to work out your issues and differences and cultures and preferences and all this other stuff, and we're going to get together and kind of be a big human family, you know. And it's never going to be perfect because, like I say, we all have our things that we like and we have our things that we dislike. But I think Google Plus unites people in a way that hasn't happened before. And
I think you're making a Google Plus commercial right here. This is
there you go. Hey.
Yeah, very.
You can send my check in the mail. I'll give you my address.
Yeah, no, it is game changer.
How often do you use Google Plus?
Too often.
Do you use it on an everyday basis, or?
Yeah.
I use it every single day.
Every day, every way. I just think that it's just the connection, and when you meet people that you connect with and you become friends with, then it's kind of like you can't go out and have drinks and dinner with them because they're all over the world, but you can see them here. So it's like, all right, instead of calling you.
I'm gonna go.
You get a drink. Yeah, I just meant you can't like be sitting next to them physically. That's all.
Sometimes that's good though.
They can't smack you either.
Yeah, exactly.
do the whole thing.
But then they get to smack you when they meet you in real life. So.
Well, hopefully they hug you first. What about features? Is there, as a musician, as a person, features that aren't here yet that you're dying to see to make it even better?
I really want. They have greatly improved the sound quality of Hangouts. When it first started, it was completely oriented for people talking to each other, and it sucked, and it sounded really bad. And I think the reason that a lot of rock and metal people didn't do anything on here is because the more complicated and loud your music is, it seemed like the harder it was for it to sound good in a Hangout. And, you know, it's not. I don't think it sounds good now, but it's tolerable. Before it was really hard to listen to, you know. But I think eventually what it's going to be, we're going to be playing. I mean, I've already had a jam with a bunch of people where we were trying to make experimental music based on the lag of the internet. So we were all in a Hangout, and we had people in Germany, California, Las Vegas. I was in North Dakota, and there was somebody from Italy. And we all basically played this droning track in the background, and we all did these kind of Robert Frippish kind of experimental, droney kind of playing. It's on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. But it was weird, but it was cool. We used the tech. We kind of tried to overcome the technology. But as the internet gets better, as Google gets smarter, we're gonna, I think, be able to play live with each other, like right through a Hangout. That's what I really hope.
And that'd be really cool, like not just for independence, but seriously, like if like 10 random legends were like, all right, let's all just jam and put it up there. That would be ridiculous, right? If all your heroes were like, I got a guitar, they're all over the world, and then just start jamming, everyone would watch that, right? A lot of people.
Yeah, it would be cool.
They knew about it. There's so many things to do. I mean, they had one of the persons, they had the Dalai Lama and the bishop, the Archbishop Tutu, like in a Hangout, and they had President, and they had Conan, and they had a bunch of different people in a Hangout. And so where else are you going to see that on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Live like that.
I've hung out with a lot of different celebrities on here. I've hung out with, Satriani. Let's see who else. Oz Fox, one of Stryper's guitar players. We were friends before this, but let's see who else. Jerry Ryan, 7 of 9 from Voyager. I don't know if you guys were Star Trek people at all.
She was or Boston Legal, or she's
Boston Legal. Yeah, and then yes. What's the new one? new show she has.
I don't know. She didn't write to me. That's all.
I can't remember. Body of Proof. It's Body of Proof. Let's see. I know I've hung out with a lot of other people.
Cool.
But
there's a lot. I mean, Michael Dell of the Dell Computers. There's a lot of people on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really neat to have the ability to meet people. And you know what they say? They say surround yourself with the highest quality people that you can meet, people that have done things. And, you know, the thing that I've noticed is the more that I do that, the better my life gets, the smarter I get about things. They'll tell you, hey, don't even bother with that, dude. That you're wasting your time. Just do this, you know. And, you know, I really think you should surround yourself with smart people. And somebody made a joke one time. They said, Google Plus has done something amazing. They've taken all of the smart people on Facebook, brought them over to Google Plus, and kept the whole Facebook community unaware of it. You know, all of the like Silicon Valley.
Well,
people,
there is the YouTube community. What?
Yeah, you know, but I mean, you know, and Facebook has its purposes. I'm not bad-mouthing Facebook, but it's just Google Plus is really cool because it's about meeting new people. It's about meeting people that are in common with what you enjoy or what you'd like to learn about, or
and it's new.
whatever.
I mean, it's all new.
Yeah.
You know, it's not predictable. You don't know that, okay, I'm going to log in and this person's going to always post that, or this person's
Oh,
gonna,
yeah. And they add new features to it every day. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, just like Josh. Josh is like,
Exactly.
you can just tons of stuff to play around
Where
with.
else can you put bozo hair
You can
on
do-
a heavy
you can
metal?
Yeah, there you go. There's tons of things you can do in here. I took a picture of you just now. There you go.
That's pretty
Or not.
cool. Put that on.
There's a lot. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Classic metal right there.
Devil horns. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, so there's go into effects into apps. There's an app thing you could find, and they're right there. It's pretty cool. He's like, I'll be a cat now. Speaking of cats, do you like the? There's people post cat pictures, dog pictures, and animated GIFs. Do you have any feeling about those, Matt Gibson, or?
I really, some of them are funny. I don't really care. I think everyone should do what they want to do on here. I'm all about letting people do what they want, you know, and not really big into censorship. If you don't want to look at something, then block that person. You know, I don't block people very often unless they're just like, oh my gosh, that is scary, you know. But I mean, I think if people's cat gifs get a little too much for me, I'll just turn down their stream a little bit, turn them down on my stream, and but I'm not really a stream control person, you know. And I'm speaking Google language here, but you know, the stream is at where all those posts kind of scroll through from all the people that you've circled.
Yeah.
Well, some people are like, they treat their stream like they're hedges, and they're snipping it, you know, and it's got to get just the content that they want in their stream. And I had this one guy yell at me. He's like, quit spamming my stream. And I was like,
Uncircle me. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, uncircle me, dude.
Go away.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, so.
You're right. I'm going to go turn on the light for the people.
Yeah, it got dark there, but it's only 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I mean, cat gifts or they're cat gifts, whatever.
Right. Okay, cool. I only went there because he was on the cat. Hangouts, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Hangouts? Just people, or meeting new people, or rocking out, or?
Meeting new people.
Cool.
Meeting new contacts, new connections, new, you know, it's like, I mean, man, I just cannot tell you how many amazing things have happened just because I was on here. And I was in a Hangout, and somebody was joking around. One night we were in a Hangout, and we were inviting all of the celebrities to the Hangout just to see if anybody would show up. And somebody told me that Snoop Dogg showed up after I went to bed. I don't know if that was true or not.
Probably just mess with you.
You know, it was.
Why didn't anybody call me and wake me up?
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
It's probably before you were on, before you met him.
Yeah,
But she's probably saying about you. Why did anybody call you?
I like meeting new people. I like learning. I'm really a geek at heart. You know, I'm a techie. I don't really post a lot about that because I I basically do it mostly behind the scenes. I read a lot about tech, and I have a degree in tech field and certifications and stuff. But I mean, I just like to post about music and things that I find interesting. Every once in a while, I'll say something techie, but I just don't like writing about it. I just like learning about it.
Stop doing that. I'm just kidding.
I like that. I say something techie.
Tech it up. Teching it up in here. What about people that you've met? I mean, besides Metal Sanaz and now Josh, but other people that, like, artists, musicians that need a little boost, that people don't know about, their content, their stuff, that you can plug right here, right now? Anyone that comes to mind?
I mean, I have some friends that are doing some great things. Everyone knows Daria Musk. She's the Google Plus poster child for music. I guess it's. I don't mean poster child. I guess that didn't sound right.
Yeah, I know a lot.
No, but I mean she's the.
See you, Peter. Peter's checking out. He's
one of the.
No, I was saying, those of you that can't watch, there are people here watching in spy mode. So. Oh,
okay, yeah. But no, I just Daria is she's done a lot of amazing things on here, and I think she just got back from a TED Talk and talking about some of the cool stuff that's happening.
Yeah, she's definitely established herself. But I mean, like some people that are still not known that haven't.
Oh no, I was going to get to them.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was just giving you the whole list.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, I mean, Daria's obviously she's done very well on here, and I hung out with her today. She's a very nice person. I like her a lot. Heather Faye is another friend of mine that is a really nice person, a good musician, trying to get her music out there. Ryan Van Sickle, another good guy. I haven't met a lot of people recently, that are trying to do stuff. I mean, I kind of been busy, I think.
Yeah, I just meant if somebody came to mind. If you had someone, you'd have to. If you didn't, yeah, that's cool.
No, it's mostly Daria, Heather, Ryan.
Cool.
I can't. Nobody else.
That's cool. So Facebook, Twitter. I mean, you still kind of use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other sites, more or less the same.
Yeah, I mean, all those media sites are good for something. I still have friends on Facebook. Mostly Facebook is people that I went to school with and, stuff like that. That's what it started as. And I'm starting to expand it a little bit because, some people check Facebook at different times. Some people check Google Plus at different times, Twitter. I wish there was just some rule that said there's only one social network. And because there's so many now, you can get overwhelmed with trying to keep up with them all, where it's like, or either that or a program that is like social feed, and all the programs seem to always leave out one of the.
Josh is trying to show us one, right?
Oh no, you're fine. Go ahead.
But yeah, there always seems to be the network that you really want it to be on there is not on the program that feeds it to everything, and then people look at the feed and say, well, it came from this program or that program, so it's not real, and they're not going to respond to it. So
who says that? People say that.
Yeah, well, I've said that. I was like, oh, that guy's just using a program to blast it all out to all the networks, and if I respond to it, he's not going to respond back to me. And you can see it. On some networks, people are more active, So, I mean, it could get overwhelming. There's a lot of different platforms out there that, trying to get fans and people that want to hear my music,
Cool. Let's bring in Dustin. Hey, Dustin, you have to unmute yourself if you want to talk. I guess Dustin's probably a fan. Welcome to the Hangouts.
Hi, Dustin.
Hooray. So what an amazing story. We'll leave on an amazing story. You want to give us an amazing story that has happened to you in Google Plus or with your music? You told us about a lot of people you've met.
So far, the coolest thing that's happened to me on Google Plus
is Sanaz.
Google Plus?
Actually, I met Sanaz in real life first. But
no, but you met her because of Google Plus, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Well, but what I was going to say is that the Traveling Guitar Foundation, you know, I really can't speak more highly about the TGF, and you know, that's my involvement.
Come back to us. Come back to us. You
with Traveling Guitar. Oh man, sorry, I keep thinking you're in the same room with me, but you're not.
No.
But yeah, the whole Traveling Guitar Foundation thing, man, it's a great organization. I'm so proud to be a part of it, and you know, that would not have happened if it hadn't been for Google Plus. Absolutely, you know, and I'm really hoping to do big things with them this year. We're working on.
What's your next? Oh, go ahead.
Well, we're working on a partnership with the USO right now, so we can start doing stuff for the troops, and that's getting ready to happen here soon. We're doing some schools here. Our school year's getting ready to start up, so we'll be kicking that into gear here soon. And you know, without Google Plus, I would never have known about TGF, let alone get an opportunity to show my talents and stuff that I could do to help and help promote it. You know, and it's just been an amazing, life-changing experience. And then, of course, on the side, you know, I met Sanaz because of that. I've met, you know, a lot of different people in the business I've met some great people in the industry, you know, but it's, you know, Google Plus is just, it came at the right time for me, you know.
Yeah.
Dustin, did you fix your voice?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, while you guys are chatting, I'm gonna step out just a second.
All right, enjoy the bathroom if that's where you're going.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
hey, I've been going at it for a while here, people.
Yeah, well, this is I just made it longer because I didn't know we had all these people come in, which was cool. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Dustin, how did you come here through Facebook or?
Yeah, Facebook.
So were you on Google Plus or not really?
I was on it, and I was on here a lot because there was nobody on.
Yeah, well, it's not that nobody's on, it's that nobody you already knew was on. This whole idea of just adding people you don't know is weird to some people, so I don't know.
Well, it was the same way for me. This is actually my first Hangout, and I came back on and logged into my Google Plus account and saw like 50, 60 people that I know are friends of mine or acquaintances of mine have added me, and I'm like, whoa, it's grown.
That's what she said, yeah. What?
And you didn't even have to feed it for it to grow.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Like your beard.
It's really it's a good tool. It's really a good tool. I mean, obviously anything that's new, it takes a little bit of time for everybody to get used to how to use it. But that's with everything, you know. So, but as far as Google Plus goes, I mean, I think they actually have the right idea of how things should be done, which is really important, rather than just having just some site that you can do stuff on. Stop laughing, Josh. I'm actually texting Josh back, and we're texting each other. So
I noticed. Is that what he was showing?
All the silly faces that were made.
Were you saying anything juicy? She's like, I want to touch your beard.
No, it's actually the exact opposite.
She's like, get rid of that thing now. I'm throwing up. Is that what she said? Is this where she says you're so much better looking without your beard?
No.
No, I'm actually gonna go ahead and say it. I really don't like people who hit on me. So I was telling Josh about it.
Who hit on you?
It's just a long story, but it's just, I don't know. I'm like one of those girls that really gets annoyed by that and really despise it. I don't just not like it. I really hate it. And yeah,
Is it something on Google Plus that was happening, or?
No.
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah,
Well, they see you as you're a woman and you're attractive, so that's it. That's all there needs. Or even, I think with the internet, you just have to be a woman. You don't have to be.
Can I start looking like this? Would that help?
I can't even. It's so dark. You don't look different.
You did it.
Really?
You did it to yourself, Sanaa. You wanted to be in the metal limelight.
What do you mean I did it to myself? What did I do?
All women get hit on, don't they? That's not new. That's not a new
Well,
thing.
that's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of them actually like it. I'm just one of those that don't.
So you don't want anyone to ever give you attention?
No, I not that kind of attention. No.
Hmm.
Like friendship is great, but I don't know. Do you guys need more light? Should I go bring a light out here?
No, it's fine. We still see parts of your face.
Okay, well that's not good.
No, the good part of your face. No, it's all good. I was just kidding.
We can see you. It's
We
fine.
see you. You're good.
Okay,
We just don't see the
yeah.
pool anymore, which with Peter
Yeah.
left. So
It gets pretty dark out here. I mean, it's not really dark if you sit here because I got like these stupid Christmas lights up here. Look.
oh, that's cool. There you go. Now, if you were like 10 feet tall, right?
You should
Yeah,
take
so
some.
it's really actually not dark, but it is. You know what? I'm just gonna go bring a light.
Okay. Light up our lives.
Yeah, because
Welcome
we went
back.
from like total sunshine of me blown out, and then to complete.
But that's kind of cool, right? That you're hanging out outside, and people got to watch you from sunshine to sun. They got to see the sunset. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna go bring something. I'll be right back.
cool. Matt is back. Cool.
Dude,
So
I'm
I think,
tired, man.
yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap it up. We've been doing this a long time. I'm gonna say our goodbyes.
This is an epically long hangout, but it's cool.
Yeah, I've done like crazy long ones, but this is. If you want, we could wrap up and start a new one and just hang out for a little bit. You could just come, go, leave, don't come, whatever, or not.
Yeah. What we could do if you want, I could come back here in about 10 or 15 minutes. But if you guys want to just start up a hangout, I don't know if Sanaz is still wants
She's
to keep
getting a
going.
lamp, so maybe that means she does.
Okay. And I could stay up a little bit longer. I got to get up in the morning kind of early, so I don't want to mess up my morning. But yeah, we can hang out a little bit more.
Okay, cool. Well, let me just wrap up. Thanks a lot, Matt, for being my guest.
It was a pleasure.
And Naz here. I wish you played more, but hopefully maybe you'll play something for us on the other side. We're doing a mega crossover show next week with the women of Broad-Minded, Jane Ellen, Lynette Young, Amy Gabriel, Cynthia Parrott, and Karen Elaine. I'm excited to do that show. It should be fun. And I'm trying to get Sweet 709, another rock band, the following week.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. They're doing great right now.
They're really cool. And then the week after that, I'm going to hopefully do something with Chef Lee Allison, do some cooking at his house again. And then we'll be back to New York City Hurl 2 for the concert with Ryan Van Sickle, Heather Faye, Rebecca Pearl, the Whiskey Violets, possibly a couple of other bands I'm working on. So that'll be fun. Thanks for watching live, or if you're watching on YouTube or anywhere you find this. Maybe it's on your TV in the year 2021, I don't know, Google TV or Conversations Plus coming up next live. Or if you're watching YouTube again, watch the next video. Go check out us just chilling and jamming that we haven't done yet, but in your time zone we've already done it, so if that makes any sense. Kind of like a weird back time parallel that I can't get into right now because my brain hurts. Invite us to your next event on your Android or iPhone Plus app, and we'll bring the party to you. Good night, everybody. Shazam. That's Hangout Conversations. And thanks, Shanaz. Rock on. And we'll start Conversations Plus, and we'll just chill out there. Thanks, everybody.